Hello, listening people.
Ho ho ho!
Ho 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 indeed. Hello, Bartek.
Hello, Ryan.
How are you?
Good.
You feeling festive?
Yes.
Is that why you ho ho ho'd?
Well, it's December.
Oh, the month of Santa?
Yes.
Oh, great. Bartek, we're doing our show Unappreciated Masterpieces. What is that?
Unappreciated Masterpieces is a show in which we talk about unappreciated masterpieces. Now, if you know your English, you know that using the word in the description is a no-no.
Yeah.
I apologize for the no-no, everyone.
Okay, good, because I do know English.
Huh?
I do know English, so...
Oh, you know languages. That's good.
Yeah,
For later.
One.
Unappreciated masterpieces, what are they?
Yes.
They are films that we believe are not appreciated, but are masterpieces. These are films that do not currently have the love that they deserve, which means that they might have once had it, they might have never had it. Basically, we want these films to, in a way, become cult classics.
Or Oscar winners.
Or Oscar winners. And you also, Ryan, sometimes describe them as films that seemingly don't deserve audio commentaries, so we step in and create audio commentaries.
That's exactly right,
And
Bartek.
look at that runtime of this episode. Wow.
Oh,
A lot of numbers.
Bartek,
Yes.
thank you for that.
You're welcome for that.
And you know why we're called Spin Polish? I know a lot of people out there are saying, guys, you've been doing this for like 100 and something episodes, but I still don't know why you're called Spit and Polish. Is one of you called Spit and one of you called Polish? No, guys.
Are you going to describe it using those words, though?
Maybe.
Okay.
We're Spin Polish, likingly because we're always spitting, and we're both Polish. Hence the names Ryan, very Polish, and Bartek, less Polish, but not as Polish as Ryan. So, Bartek, you have to tell us the name of the movie we're covering, because I don't know what it is.
Us?
You know, us as in you, me, and the listening people.
Oh, I have to tell me as well.
yeah.
Okay, listen up, Bartek. The name of the film that we are doing in this episode is Trójka Uciekinierów.
Repeat that one again?
Trójka Uciekinierów.
Almost got it that time.
Oh, right.
Just once more.
Trójka Uciekinierów.
Oh, okay. I think you're speaking Polish.
And you know languages, right?
Well, I know English.
What?
Although I am Polish, don't speak the language.
Is that you saying you don't speak the language, or are you telling me not to speak the language?
In fact, a bit of both. Could you say it in English?
Oh, right, because you only speak English.
Yeah.
Trójka Uciekinierów, the film is Three Fugitives.
Three Fugitives?
Yes.
The Three Fugitives?
All three.
The legendary French film? We're doing that one, huh?
No, right. Less French, more English.
Oh, the one with Martin Short.
Yes, from 1989, I think.
You are 100% correct on that, Bartek. But we have to have people. But we have to have some fellow fugitives join us for this episode. We don't have three of them. We have two of them.
And there are two of us.
Oh, so we're four fugitives, huh?
No, one of us is not a fugitive.
Okay, that's me then. That's me then.
We'll find out at the end of the episode.
Bartek,
Yes.
could you please introduce our guests? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Not really.
Figuratively.
Oh, figuratively you are. Ladies and gentlemen, I used the bad word, sorry. Listening people.
There you go. Don't want to exclude pets.
Yeah, soz. We are joined in this episode by two fellows from another podcast. And they are from the Dirty Harry Minute podcast. Introducing John.
Hello, wonderful to be here. Or something like that.
And Shane.
How are you? I'm Shane.
Hi, Shane. It's great to see you.
Thank you. You
It's
too.
great to have you guys on Dirty Harry Minute podcast. So by the sound of that really sounds like you guys cover only Magnum Force, right? On your podcast? That's the only one you cover.
No.
Minute by minute breakdown of Magnum
No,
Force.
it's
Let's
a
see
minute,
how
it's
the
a minute
first one
long
goes.
breakdown.
A
Right?
minute long breakdown, mental breakdown of Magnum. I'm joking. Of course, they cover the Deadpool, the best Harry movie of them all, right?
Well, yes, Dirty Harry is the best. We've earmarked probably Police Academy is the next minute we try and break down minute by minute, isn't that right, Shane?
The Running Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
okay.
I thought we just.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a fucking great one.
Yeah,
For the longest time, I always thought that the game show host in that was the dad from Frasier, but then I
right.
rewatched it and it's not the dad from Frasier.
The
So
game show host in the Running Man
yeah,
movie
yeah,
is the real life host
of
of Family Feud.
Family Feud.
In the States, though, not what Australians would know.
Oh, not what's his name?
What was his name?
Blonde guy? Man
Curly
who...
Straw?
Curly Straw. So, guys at home, you should definitely check out Dirty Harry Minute Podcast. If you want your fix on Dirty Harry, they're the guys. I mean, you guys are the only ones, right, doing a minute.
Yeah, so far. If anyone out there listening to this podcast loves Dirty Harry or Clint Eastwood, please give us a message.
Or Andy Robinson.
Or
I
Andy
don't want to
Robinson.
exclude him. He's in the movie too. I mean, come on. He's a fan favorite of everyone out there.
He would be the wet dream to have on the podcast. We're putting feelers out to all, but sadly a lot of them are no longer with us. Don Siegel, the director, and John Vernon, the mayor, they're all deceased. So
Get Clint.
we're trying.
Get Clint. So, guys at home, you have to get a copy of Three Fugitives, the legendary Nick Nolte classic. Because we have a copy, you should have a copy. Because we're going to be starting a countdown. I'm going to be starting a countdown. I'm going to say play. You're going to press play. We'll be lined up, hopefully, as we talk about the amazing film that is Three Fugitives. Almost said Dirty Harry, but Three Fugitives.
There's a lot of
I mean,
whispery voice from Nick Nolte here.
he would have made a great Harry.
He would.
Wouldn't he? He'd be like,
Hello, make my day, Bond.
Asshole.
I know you're asking yourself.
I know you're
to
asking
watch it
yourself.
muted.
That's Martin Short. No. So, guys, watch it muted. I'm going to do a countdown starting now. 3, 2, 1, play. So, guys, what's our history with this film?
This was a big childhood favourite of my sister and I. Children of born in the early 80s, we borrowed this quite frequently at the Plains Video and Reservoir. And, we just took a real shine to it, along with, the other more canon films like Back to the Future and Police Academy. We borrowed this many times.
You didn't see it in the cinema?
No. I was only
Wow.
6 at the time.
Wow, no excuse then, huh?
No, I'm ashamed. I shouldn't be here by...
You're shamed, but you
Ashamed.
aren't Shane.
Yes,
What's your history with this? I'm really
Tuesday,
proud of
I
that.
took a sick day and I watched this film. That is my history.
So, Shane's boss, if you're listening right now,
That's right.
You know his priorities.
I'm sure he is
you
listening.
know his priorities.
I know I was genuinely sick, but I wasn't sick enough, to put myself through this movie.
Oh, so you've never seen this before, huh?
I hadn't. I didn't know what I was looking at.
Did
and
you-
I
You
still,
still
don't
don't.
know.
Have you ever heard of it before?
I hadn't heard of
So,
it.
so John didn't mention it all the time.
No.
Like when
he
you guys are
didn't.
doing Dirty Harry, he wouldn't
No.
pause and be like, "God, that Three Fugitives movie with Martin Short though."
No, Police Academy comes up very frequently. and
This has
Three
police in it.
Fugitives- Yeah,
This has James Earl Jones in it.
yeah, it does.
There's a sort of academy for special kids.
You mean the orphanage? So Bartek, what's your history with Three Fugitives?
I think I might have heard the title before, but I hadn't seen it until just yesterday.
Just yesterday, huh?
Just yesterday.
So you might have heard of it, but you hadn't seen it for sure.
For sure.
I had never heard of this movie, never seen it until having to do it for the show, because I was talking to the Dirty Harry guys. I'm like, what are some movies? And I got like a real good list of movies, and I went through each one, and there were so many to pick from, but I went with this one because I saw Martin Short and Nick Nolte.
Big fan of him, are you?
And Nick Nolte is holding Martin Short, and Martin Short is holding a child. And I said, now that's an unappreciated masterpiece. I looked at the poster and I said, don't tell me more. I'm a big fan of all those people. Not the child so much. She didn't go on to do much more, but, she did a good job in this. Sarah, if you're listening, I bet you are. Good job, You had a great haircut scene in the movie.
I wonder if they modelled Coraline, that movie. Or-
Yeah. Neil Gaiman was writing his book while looking at this, and he was like, "Aha!"
Many very clever long monologues she gets to do in this
Yeah,
film.
yeah. This movie, really. Yeah, it was. I thought I had a fun time. I thought there was a lot of elements going on, and when looking it up, there's a French version out there with Gerard Depardieu, who's a favorite of ours. We had him on for 102 Dalmatians in the movie, not as a guest. That would have been great though as a guest. So, what was it like to work with Glenn Close? Oh, ooh la la. That's my Gerard impression. But this movie, yeah, fun time. It was just a fun ride. I kind of went into it blind. I just saw the poster, saw the name, and I just went, Three Fugitives, huh? Okay. And then watching the movie, I was like, looking at my watch and going, where's that third fugitive?
I was thinking that the whole time, and Right, it's the girl. The girl is the third fugitive, right? But it took me half the film to work out. There's going to be another character.
No, the twist is it's the bank robber at the end of the movie, and it's
Oh.
leading into a sequel.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I wish there'd been another scene where they needed money fast and she actually had helped them commit another bank robbery. That was a
Yeah.
nice little mini act.
Yeah, it would have
Great
been
idea.
fantastic if she was the mastermind of a bank robbery.
The owner of the bank takes her by the hand. It's like, let's find your daddy.
And then-
Little do they know, daddy's taking the money.
Oh, good job. Now, I just want to say something. I was really embarrassed during this whole entire sequence
Why?
because I did not know that someone else was in the car. So when they're walking, I thought he left their handbrake off.
The car was following
And
them.
the car was rolling
Oh,
behind them. Because as soon as he lets go, it starts to quickly move. And I just didn't know Alan Ruck was in the car. I just focused on James Earl Jones is at this. James Earl Jones. And then the car is just slowly going with
Whoa.
them. And I'm like...
This is their death scene, right?
So that was my embarrassing moment of the
He
movie.
didn't park his car, he put it in reverse for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. He just left the handbrake off and it just naturally came back. So, John, you brought this to all of us. This is a childhood classic. Have you watched it many a time since being a child?
Yeah, I'd say I watch it on average, once every 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It
Just for
has-
nostalgia's sake. I mean, I'd only... we'll say ratings till the end of the podcast, but...
But you'd give it a 10 out of 10, I know. It has enough James Earl Jones to satisfy
a
anyone.
layman rating of 10 out of 10.
I think what also added it to my awareness in year 7, we watched the original French original of this, and that encouraged me to go watch it again. So it's always...
Did you keep that VHS copy of that?
I did keep it, and I've shown it to certain selected people that come into our podcast,
Including,
chamber.
I was going to say, do you show it to the teachers that you took it from? And they're like, aha, I knew it was him all along. He's the third fugitive. So you've seen the French one.
Yes.
Similar?
Similar, it doesn't have Martin Short, the guy that plays the... Obviously!
It does have Nick Nolte, though.
Or Gary Busey, or whatever he is. But some certain things have changed. The character who plays the father is more like a sad sack, legitimately like sad, pathetic character. He doesn't have any of Martin Short's good comic timing. Yeah.
Because I was thinking, what the French one needed was more tragedy than this one, and I'm glad to hear that. Martin Short cries a lot in this. I'm a big Martin Short fan, and I don't think I've seen him so emotional in a movie in a genuine sense. Like, when you watch Three Amigos and he's afraid that he's going to die, it's for comedy sense. But in this movie, like, when he's afraid he's going to die, he's afraid. This is a great scene. Bartek, I thought of you during this scene. I thought,
Because I
Bartek...
raise my hands all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you have grenades. No, Bartek, I thought of you because I thought, will this be Bartek's favorite scene in the movie? And was it, Bartek?
I don't know, Ryan. This movie had some strong contenders for favourite scene.
Oh, yeah, give us some.
Well, we'll see them when they come.
That's you stalling, yeah? I know you. You just want to save it all for the vet, huh? Your favorite character, the vet, who's the guy from Dune?
Mm.
Oh.
When we're in the bank at this scene, I'm finally
The
learning
decor.
this is a comedy. They think it's a comedy.
No, they know it's a comedy. That's the difference. Here's what it is. It's a dramedy.
Yeah,
It's
a very
drama and comedy.
Yeah, it's a challenging genre, definitely to walk the line like that.
No, you guys are a bit older than us. Banks back in the day, did they look like someone's lounge room? Like this one did?
Exactly, yes, they
Like
did.
with the shag carpeting?
Yeah, they really did, and you can go into a bar now called the Bank on Elizabeth Street, and it looks pretty much like this. It looks like nothing like a modern bank.
Okay.
Interestingly, it actually looks more dated, this bank, than the original does in the French version. It's got, sort of wooden tables and stuff. And looks a bit more classic.
Classic. Did it also have a really short guy behind the counter?
It did, in fact.
Oh my god, I thought that was like an original joke for this one,
I
but it's
thought
a direct lift.
That is legitimately funny. When
It is.
You get to see his hide.
And later on, you'll see him playing back the video, going, "Well, look at me, I'm really good. I work at..." Yeah, but that's not in the French version.
Oh no, that is a travesty, because that was a fucking great part of the movie when he was just like, oh, look at me go.
The French aren't so vain.
No, the French the French don't have enough Alan Ruck in their movie,
No.
nor does this movie. My biggest complaint is in any movie, there's not enough of him ever.
No.
Right.
Does he strike you, Ruck, as like an 80s Edward Norton or something? No, just in his profile, his face.
Yes.
No, he does look good, not acting-wise, because he would always play teenagers, even though he was like 30 when he did Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes.
And yet he looks young. Yeah, he looked younger than Matthew Broderick. Matthew Broderick has the eyes of a killer. That's why, because he's killed people. We all remember that, don't we?
I know it because you told me.
That Matthew Broderick accidentally killed people with his car.
Yeah, that's right.
Good old Matthew. Then he married Sarah Jessica Parker, so everything worked out in the end.
It was an accident, right?
I love this gag. This is
ATM.
The kid?
the kid.
Yeah.
Only in the 80s do you have kids like this exist. Like it's like
Such moxie.
if he was the same kid from RoboCop 2, I'd believe it.
If he was the same kid from Terminator 2,
I was going to say, yeah.
because there's a very similar scene, but that's a bit more intentional.
Yeah.
Robbing the ATM.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. His little redhead friend.
Yeah, Furlong was his name, Eddie.
Oh, yeah. Edward Furlong and his little redhead friend who just rats him out as soon as he could.
Yep.
So, Shane,
Jump.
jump.
Come on, this time you can get it.
Shoot it off.
How tall is Martin Short?
Well, it's in his name.
He is not.
He's not that tall, so this guy is really short.
Martin Short's really quite good in this, Ryan.
No, Ryan, this bank guy is like 6 foot. Shorts is really big.
Martin Short should have played the Mountain in Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Yeah, Martin Short is great in this. He's got a lot of. He shows he has diversity in his range as an actor. Because have we all seen much Martin Short material in our time?
Very little.
Not so much for me.
That was
No?
probably one of the first films I saw. Was his small role in Father of the Bride? You know,
When he's the flamboyant wedding planner.
I liked him in that.
Yeah, I'm a big Martin Short fan. I've seen his stuff for Three Amigos, of course, and. What's his character? He plays that one character. He had a cartoon. That one character where he wears his pants up to like his nipples, and he's got like the spiked hair, like he gels his hair up into like a point.
Drop Dead Fred.
No, it's not. We covered that recently, but no, and I can't remember his name, but he's a weirdo. Martin Short's great. So you guys, Shane, Bartek,
Yes.
not much Short in your life.
I hear his name a million times, but then when I look him up, I'm like, oh, I haven't really seen anything.
But you got it now.
Well,
how
yeah.
did you feel?
His acting is very large. Everything is times 10. He's chewing the scenery, and he's having a good time.
Do you appreciate him chewing scenery?
I don't want to say yes.
Okay, you're more of a Nick Nolte fan, I see. Okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, I love Nick Nolte's grumbling around.
Question, Shane: does Martin Short look like an asshole?
No.
He looks more like a dickhead. If
He looks
anything.
adorable.
But
He might be a
acts-
dweeb.
But he acts like an asshole. So
Does he, though? Does he act like an
Dude.
asshole?
I mean, he has that repeated line of saying that Nick Nolte's is all your fault, even though it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you're the one that's robbing a bank.
yeah. Martin Short has weird ears. I couldn't help noticing that during this whole entire movie. Just wanted to point that out so you can notice it too.
Ooh, that reminds me, was he an elf in a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
Called Elf, was it?
No,
Not that one.
No, that was Bob Newhart.
Oh, I see.
Uh,
Just then you pointed out the ears, something clicked. Or
oh no, he was in the Santa Claus 3 as Jack Frost,
that could be it.
where he took over the North Pole.
That could be
The
it.
best Santa Claus movie outside of Santa Claus 2, which has the most explicit Nazi imagery in a children's movie. We all laugh, but it's really true.
So, Ryan, is this a Christmas film?
No. You could say it is by the fact that we are watching it during December.
I did start the episode with ho ho.
When I think Christmas, I do think James Earl Jones as a cop. So there you go.
I'm really missing, because we're watching this without the sound, I'm really missing, is it a clarinet that we hear throughout the soundtrack?
Oh, saxophone and clarinet.
Saxophone and clarinet.
Some
yeah.
might say recorder.
No, wow.
Children's recorder, but...
Plastic children's recorder. I thought I
Yeah, the
noticed
music
that.
is very cheap, Ryan, in this movie.
No, it's very 80s.
Right. At the start when he's exiting the prison, it sort of sounds like it's that Fairlight synthesizer sound.
Sounds like a John Hughes movie.
Yes, but it's trying to break into like some song with a Fairlight in it.
Yeah. Come on, can we all...
Bridge Over Troubled Water, actually, it sounded like.
It's very off-putting, that opening scene, because it takes itself quite seriously. Do you
Yeah.
think?
It's like the Blues Brothers.
I don't know where this movie is going when I'm seeing the first scene, and he's very well dressed, and I'm trying to wonder what crime was he convicted for? And I'm thinking some kind of corporate crime.
A white-collar crime,
White collar crime. And when it's a bank robberies, I'm like,
14
really?
of them.
Okay.
Dude.
I should have read the jacket cover
When you
on
seen-
the VHS.
They rob banks. She steals hearts.
He should have played Batman. How has he not done the voice of Batman at least?
Christian Bale one.
No, any Adam West Batman.
George
Yeah.
Clooney, he's very guttural.
Oh yeah. I think we should just highlight how great the physical comedy of Martin Short was in that scene just a moment ago where he fainted and dropped the gun. And also, let's appreciate Nick Nolte, because he also had to be a part of that scene. Like, he's playing like the straight man, but he also had to make Martin Short move around in a way. Can we all just give a round of applause for that? Yeah.
You did well.
You did well, Shorty.
Now, is that chocolate or oil that's coming out?
So it's supposed to be oil, and I think it is oil. I just think Martin Short's a method actor, and he said, "Pour me an oil." He's an interesting actor. I mean, I liked him recently. He was in the film Inherent Vice. He was in that movie, and he was comedic and serious. He's an interesting actor, man. But is he as interesting as the fact that James Earl Jones is in this movie?
Adding a lot of weight to this comedy.
Just because he's a large man.
I didn't mean it like that. I
The
meant
guy
he's
was
A-grade.
the guy was a mute until he went to high school. Leave him alone.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I read that
outstanding.
trivia
And now
That's
he's-
why he's got such a good voice.
That's why he wanted to do this movie
saved
with the child.
Do you remember what his first movie was?
His first?
Strangelove, probably.
Yeah, Doctor
Amongst
Strangelove.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then let's favorite. Do we have a favorite James Earl Jones
Yes,
performance?
Sandlot Kids.
Oh, I thought you were going to say this movie.
Oh, this movie.
Shane,
Darth Vader?
Darth Vader. Great choice, Bartek. You're a big James Earl Jones fan.
Am I?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Say Lion King. Say Lion King.
I would have to say the Three Fugitives.
Yeah.
And yet no one's saying the elephant in the room, which is Conan the Barbarian.
Oh,
He literally turns into a snake.
Oh, his hair is so beautiful
I have a
in that
copy
film.
of that, but I haven't seen it yet.
He's fucking great at it.
His hair is so great.
See him as a bad guy. He is mwah. I'd like, you know how they're doing the Lion King again? The live action,
He's in
and he's redoing Mufasa. I'd like them to redo this movie, but he still plays was it Dugan?
Yeah.
Dugan. And he plays him, but he's like 80-something years old, and he's still chasing after Nick Nolte
Nick
and
Nolte's
Martin
now
Short.
had 15 armed robberies.
Yeah, exactly. And they show you the teaser trailer. It's just his voiceover being like, "Hey, Rover," and he's just laughing. Like that's the scene that they use for the teaser trailer. And they
The
use
little girl's now an adult, but she's still being treated like a child.
she's played by Phoebe Cates because this girl looks like
dead
a tiny Phoebe Cates. If this girl grew up to be Phoebe Cates, would you be surprised? Don't think so.
I would be.
So this child actor hasn't gone on to do other films?
Nah, man. She did
No.
like 3 roles, and that was it.
3 roles. So this is the third of the 3 roles, or
Yeah, it would be. I would hope so. I can't remember. I think it was the second actually, but
is it really?
3 Fugitives, 3 roles.
And then her parents pulled her out and said,
She got arrested for stealing hearts.
No, the twist is it's actually Vern Troyer in a wig the entire time. There were moments in this in which she did things like little stunts, and I was like, I wonder if that was a little person in a wig, because they do that a lot. Like in John Hughes' movie Baby's Day Out, a lot of the baby scenes are just Vern Troyer in a nappy. So, Bartek, haven't gone in blind into this.
I did see the poster, but yeah.
Okay, you saw the poster too. What did you think you were going to get out of this movie?
Yeah, I didn't know what the plot. I didn't have a synopsis of what the film was going to be about. So, you know, it starts off with a person getting out of prison and seemingly wanting to go straight. So I thought, like, oh, okay, I guess this is going to be a film about a guy going straight, but like something's going to happen to drag him back in.
You were
And
correct.
Yeah, but the part that I wasn't expecting was the reluctance angle.
Right.
Like through all this section of the film, especially where, you know, he literally did not do anything. Well, he didn't do anything at this point wrong.
Right, yeah.
And so, but I kept thinking to myself, and this is one of those things that you sometimes mention, Ryan, where the film's listening to what I'm saying. I'm like, there were witnesses in the bank. Like, surely he can just, like, you know, get arrested and they'll deal with it. But then you get scenes of Dugan saying like, no, he's
must
smart.
be a
He
pair.
thought of this. You were deceived. or
They're a
something like this.
team.
And that made me realize, like, oh, okay, this is a very intelligent film.
Yeah.
But it's also a comedy, and intelligence and comedy. I don't know if you know this, go really well together.
But it also has emotions.
It does.
It makes you feel things. Shane, what was one of the most emotional parts of the movie for you? What made you feel a lot?
When the child speaks, yeah, that got me a bit, yeah.
It tugged at the heart?
It did, and I'm like, I don't see what you're doing here, but it's still working.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I really felt bad for Bruce McGill's bar when it got just destroyed by a van. We had Bruce McGill in a movie for Obsessed, and I said he usually plays villains. In that movie, he did not play a villain, and I was like, this is very unusual. And then he rocked up in this movie, I'm like, nah, that's the Bruce McGill I know.
He's very familiar.
He's always a villain. Like, he's always like some douchebag or something, or some corporate guy, but in this, he's
Did
like...
he work with Idris Elba in that film?
Yeah, he was his boss.
Right, yes.
In this movie, though, he is Charlie, right? That's his name.
Yeah, Charlie.
Charlie. Poor Charlie's bar. I felt sorry for him. Now, this was a great scene. I thought this was really funny. Just like the fact that he's just like bashing him in front of the police. It takes him a good amount of time to stop it too. Like,
This
look
is
how
a
long this is.
callback to when he just did this like 1 minute ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's a callback to a Senego.
Yes.
They call that a Senego callback.
You sometimes think of police as being this almost like... I don't mean this to sound mean, but like, non-human entity who, like, if you commit a crime, they will instantly, like,
Get you.
or, like, go after you. Kind of like in GTA. You get a star, all of a sudden they're aggro to you. But in this scene, you have all these things of, like, clearly unwillfully shoving a man into a police station. They're just, like, dumbfounded, like, what is going on here? You keep shaking. You're messing up our office.
Yeah.
And
They're
they
like
just
my
don't know
poor
what to do
office.
until something, like, actually criminal happens, like here.
Now, I don't go into police
It's amusing.
stations very much, but if I
Loser.
do you think if you smacked a Martin Short against the desk there, the whole wall would shake or what?
Not as much as it does in this scene.
So
Well, it's an 89 police
oh
station,
right, yeah. In the 80s, police stations were a lot cheaper back then in construction, unlike today. You're right.
Oh. In the French version, sorry, he comes out, the gendarme or the officer comes out with a big machine gun after the car. But
Wow.
Because it's France, they have different gun laws over there.
yeah.
Django.
It was Django. He was carrying a coffin around the whole time because I had a minigun.
In many respects, this is sort of a carbon copy of the French one, but it's interesting where this is a bit more risque sometimes. Like, there's a lot more profanity and just there's swearings all over the place, whereas in the French one, there's a few F words that have been translated in English, but it's generally a bit more genteel.
Who's doing the most swearing in this movie?
It's, that guy, Nick Nolte.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Martin Short again.
It was the little girl.
Hey, it's me, Manshore.
Don't go, Daddy.
Don't fucking go.
Fucking cunt.
Nick Nolte's got a real high voice now. Don't go. No, I really want to check out this French version, but if I've checked out this version, do I need to?
Nah, you've ticked the box.
Okay,
It's all right.
Take that, France. Take it, France. Beautiful.
France is crying with their copy of their Three Fugitives and Just Visiting.
Yeah.
Just visiting.
Do you think you know what I love about this though? This is one of those movies. It's the 80s. This movie, I say this a lot, but this movie would be solved a lot easier if they had mobile phones. Like, if there's a movie made today, they wouldn't have to worry about, like, traveling in weird ways that they do in this. Like, they could just phone Charlie on like, a mobile phone, not have to go to the vet's office, all this kind of stuff. Mobile phones ruin movies, is what I'm really saying.
I can't really see mobile phone fixing or ruining this film, though.
Well, then you could use maps on your phones instead of them having to go out of their way to go to this place and this place. I don't know, Bartek. I think
don't know. I
you
don't
could have
think- I
more
don't
scenes
think-
of James Earl Jones on the beat instead of him waiting politely at the police station next to a landline phone. Yeah, James Earl Jones is in this movie. I was
Please.
really upset.
J-E-J, right?
Huh?
Let's abbreviate. J-E-J.
Jedge.
Respect, Jedge.
Okay. Mufasa's in this movie, guys. And
Darth Jedge.
he does live, which is very unusual for James Earl Jones.
Does he?
We don't see what
You
happens.
don't see
to
him in like the last third of the film, Ryan.
We don't see him in a good 50 to 60 to 70% of this movie at all. I was very disappointed. I thought, oh, they introduced him. He's going to be the antagonist. He's going to be after them. And then he just doesn't come back. Like, he kind of leaves for a while. And then Alan Ruck's in it. And he's like, dude, he's clearly innocent. And James Earl Jones is like, no.
At some point in the making of this film, they realized there is no women. There is actually no adult woman in the entire film. Let's write one in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, remember there was a scene where they took a pregnant lady to the hospital.
Okay, well that definitely counts. That's what I'm talking about.
Checkmate.
Checkmate, bringing up that scene.
I'm just it occurs to me at this point in the film that I'm always waiting for the car chase.
Oh,
Is
the
this
police
going to be the
officer.
car chase scene?
The female police
Yeah,
officer.
guarding the girl at the orphanage. Yeah, I think they wrote her in because they got that far into the film and they realized, hey, there's no chicks.
I mean, there's a little girl.
Well, adults he was talking about.
I know. But there's
The
female...
police officer and pregnant lady.
One of which...
So Shane, I think you're right in what you say. This movie is up there with,
It's feminist cinema, I agree, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, well, there's a test, right?
It's up
This one
the
doesn't pass
Biswick.
it.
What's it called, the Biswick test or something?
The Bechdel.
Bechdel test. The Bartek test, I
Yeah,
call it these days.
Yeah.
The Bechdel test. Well, it does succeed in it because the women characters aren't talking about men. So,
They are named.
I mean, they aren't talking to each other either, so, I mean, it also ticks that box. Now, Bartek, this is your favorite character, right? Old vet guy?
He's up there. For
Veterinarian?
Sure, yeah.
Who is your favorite character, then? Because this is my favorite character.
Ryan, typically when you ask a question, you have to answer it first, but you just did, so now I'm...
Eggs are on your face.
The eggs are on my face.
It's so good to hear the full word veterinarian. You
Yeah.
don't hear that enough.
Well, if you say vet, and he could be
Veteran,
like...
yeah.
He could be a veteran. I mean, he does...
Performed a lot of surgeries.
That's a
He-
whole Ali G sketch.
He did survive the Spice Wars in Dune. This guy was the... Have you guys seen Dune, the film?
He's in June.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's the head of the what was
the
it?
bald one.
Yeah, the Abraxas.
Oh wow.
Is he? Oh, that's not the name of the family. It's something like the one where he stings dad.
Mm.
And he's the one with pus wounds all over his face, and he flies around because he's so fat that he has to hover.
That's him. Good pickup.
And this is his last movie.
I think comic performances, I did like this character the most, but I think overall I did like James Earl Jones, just for how suspicious he was of everything.
You would play James Earl Jones, wouldn't you?
Would I?
Yeah, you're suspicious of everyone involved.
Well, I do have the voice, I guess.
Now, John, when you were a child, though, what aspects of this movie really spoke to you?
I think just the mismatched pairing of Short and Nolte, you know? You had the nerdish, dweebish guy like me. I'd be the Martin Short character, and
I would be the Nick Nolte character.
I'd probably be the bank teller, I think. That's my
Okay.
spiritual home. And I just love the comedy of the mismatched pair, which I guess was done to death in the 80s, but it tickled my fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your sisters as well? Did she like the
I'll
mismatched pair?
ask. She loved it. Yeah.
Who loved it more?
I would say that I did.
Wow.
Yeah. She was more about the Land Before Time, I think. That was really what
Land
captured her
Before
imagination.
Time. That's a
film.
good choice.
That's a
Yeah.
great documentary.
Do you like the grand... This house has somehow survived demolishing in this shitty neighbourhood, and this vet's still can afford this grand old two-storey house?
Well, I think,
He looks after the gangsters' pets, so
Oh, yeah.
gotta respect him.
Brings it a lot of
and the
coin.
police dogs as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So this guy works for both sides. He's playing both sides. This guy's a real mastermind.
He comes across. He makes it seem like he's retired, but he's clearly not.
Well, he's
He's working
working
on the
from
police
home.
dog, yeah.
Is he working from home? He's got his gear
Yeah.
and he's just walked from one room to the other, and there's
Well, Bartek, he is insane.
Yeah. So when he meets Nick Nolte, all of a sudden he gets all his skills back
Well,
because he did have that line of like, I don't know how to do this anymore.
but then once Nick Nolte is a dog to you, all your skills come back. That's the real
Dog
taste
to
of the
me.
movie.
In the French version, the vet, he's totally thinks Lucas is a dog all of the time. Whereas
Yeah.
in this one, he thinks, I'm not a doctor. He sort of fluctuates between being senile and not.
I did think in the scene where James Earl Jones had to question him, I thought he was going to turn around and be like, legitimately give him the deal, and he was pretending all along. Because he did play it really straight. He was like, well, the patient came in. I'm like, okay, he's going with it. But then he was insane, a crazy old man. And James Earl Jones, I think legitimately was laughing. It felt like very real. It wasn't like
Yeah, I was a bit confused. Like, is
acting.
this going to be like a thing of the vet actually has information, but then clearly when he like shoos him off and he's laughing, is it going to like transition into him going, "You idiot" or something like that? But no, he genuinely found it funny.
get him out of here. Yeah, James Earl Jones has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
I do love the idea that they feel accountable because they drove him to the bank.
Mm.
And he was like, "I'm gonna rob this bank," and they're like, "Oh Jesus, no!"
In the French one, they actually drive him to a jewelry store first
Why?
because when he leaves prison in the French one, he's got some jewelry in his safe deposit box, so he wants to pawn it off, and then they take him to the bank after that.
Instead of the prison gives him money.
Yes,
And
that's right.
But why does he go to the bank in the French one?
To deposit the money he's earned from selling the jewels.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So
I thought
maybe the Americans sensibly conflated.
By the way,
two
when I
things.
mentioned an academy earlier, I was talking about this place, not the orphanage.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Looks like a police academy.
It
It's
literally
a
had-
school for
yeah.
special tots.
Yeah.
Remember there's that Garbage Pail Kids movie where there's a home for ugly kids?
Yeah.
It's like a prison.
Was
a
it for
concert-
kids or people?
People. Kids, I think.
I thought it was people.
Well,
I
you
haven't
can
seen it.
You can
but-
tell us. You went there.
No, but I haven't seen it. I just said I haven't seen it.
I meant the kids' home for the ugly kids' home. You went there.
No, but that doesn't exist.
Thanks, Bartek.
And it
Yes,
would-
and please, Bartek.
No, but
Well, you had a butt when you went there, then you lost the weight. And, sorry.
Boom.
and now I've just got this flat conehead ass.
so, John, when I said, "Hey, let's do 3 Fugitives," how excited were you to do it?
Out of 10, I'd say an 8.2.
What about? Can I raise you that to a 10?
Yes, you can.
It was a 10, guys. He was like so
You're
pumped.
supposed to no but him.
No, but it was actually 10.
It's actually 10.
10.2.
So yeah, having to rewatch this, and you've been rewatching this even as an adult, does it just become more mature for you, and upon each rewatch?
I don't know how to answer that. I think I will say yes, and it just increases my respect for it. Keeps increasing.
Yeah, and does
I feel sort of like I'm betraying fine cinema because I sort of only watched the French one once or twice, and I'm just drinking my Coca-Cola remake version here, and I'm.
well, sometimes the American remakes are better than French movies. I mean, just okay to accept that the French. They just surrender too easily to Nazis. We just have to admit this, and it's
yeah.
all good.
And also, you're in a safe space here because this is unappreciated masterpieces. We promote watching these types of films over and over again.
So, yeah, man. It's okay to admit that you like Nick Nolte movies. Are you a big fan of the Nolte?
I am. As a kid, I was always mixing up with, like I said before, Gary
Gary
Busey.
Busey.
Like in Point Break, I always thought it was Gary Busey.
Really? Fun
Yeah.
fact, in Point Break, it is Gary Busey.
Yes. Or that's just a fact, yes.
But what are some Nick Nolte movies that you've witnessed in your lifetime?
Everyone talks about 48 Hours. Have you seen that, Shane? Never
a long
have.
time ago, a cop movie.
Yeah.
Bartek, you said that's the only one you
I
know him from, right?
I think that's the only one I can think of that I've seen him in.
Breakfast of Champions. Is he in that with Bruce Willis?
I'd hope so. I've seen him in that one where he plays a homeless man.
Down
Who-
and Out and
Yeah, who wanders into, is it Bette Midler's house, or who is
I
it?
think
Someone.
so.
And he just refuses to leave, and then they make his life better, and he makes their life better.
Wow.
And it's a real roller coaster. Cape Fear. He's
Oh,
in Cape
yeah, yeah.
Fear, the De Niro Cape Fear. He was the counselor, Mr. Counselor. And
Oh,
he,
you guys are younger than us. You probably loved. Is he in Tropic Thunder?
he is in Tropic Thunder.
is he?
He's the demolitions expert with not the demolition expert, the guy whose story that they're making into a film. The guy who pretends
yeah.
that he's a veteran from Vietnam and has a hook for hooks for
Right,
hands.
Okay.
That's Nick Nolte. How can you tell it's Nick Nolte? It's Nick Nolte. And of course the Hulk. He was in the Hulk as Hulk's dad.
Didn't know that.
He was
Which
the
Hulk.
Banner's
Eric Banner,
Oh,
man.
Banner, yeah, the real one, yeah.
The real Hulk? Is that the one you like
That's
more?
my preferred one, yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
crazy?
Yes. Mhm.
The
You
Ang
wouldn't like me.
the Ang Lee
Are
Hulk.
you?
The one where they put comic book panels on the screen.
That's right. That's a good one, isn't it? Eric Banner.
Do you think
No, the good one's the
Ozzy
one
and
with
Incredible
Edward
Hulk.
Norton.
Oh, okay.
Do you
yeah,
think
that was a bit
Alan
earlier,
Ruck
wasn't
would have
it?
made a better Edward Norton in the Hulk from 2000?
I think
or
so.
9?
I think he
Yeah.
would have been great in Fight Club. and he's there, and like
Ferris, punch me, Ferris.
and his version would have been just instead of Brad Pitt, it would have been Michael J. Fox, and it would just be like a Spin City reunion all over again.
Wow.
Oh, there's our Bruce McGill, and he does look exactly like his name, Bruce McGill, with his mustache and his ring on his finger. Nick Nolte, get off the screen. We want to talk about Bruce McGill.
They call him Bruce.
Fuck you. That was a
What?
good
That's
reference.
an unappreciated masterpiece.
It is a good unappreciated masterpiece. Did you guys want an answer to why Bruce McGill was such a dick to him?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think maybe he just sees an opportunity for money.
From someone who doesn't have any money?
But he knows he can rob a bank for him to get the money, to get the passports.
Yeah. At first, I thought he was suspicious of the fact that that he's claiming to have held Nick Nolte hostage, Lucas hostage.
But he is. Until Nick Nolte is like, he did hold me hostage, and then like, really?
Yeah, but then he changes the conversation.
So I thought like something seedy was going on, but then it just kind of kept playing on from that.
I thought there was going to be like a twist where it's like Nick Nolte screwed Bruce McGill over in the past somehow, and that's why he has a bit of a grudge or
You
something.
can't have that with an 86-minute running time.
Look, if you can't trust the mobster boss, who can you trust? You know?
Why is he wearing a tie in such a place? I think is he wearing a tie?
Yeah, it's a tie. It's because he's undone his tie.
It's
Because
the original tie.
I thought you were going to say, why is he continuing to wear this
Travis Bickle.
trench coat, his Columbo trench coat throughout the whole entire movie?
It's to make him look skinnier and weedier and
Is
funnier.
he sweaty or Nick Martin short in these scenes, or is it
No, it's
raining?
because he's been covered in grease from earlier, so it's kind of Vaselined his face.
Excellent continuity.
It is continuity, and it is pretty excellent. Did you appreciate the continuity?
Yeah.
I noticed that the stain on his right shoulder was there throughout the whole film.
I appreciated the stain. It was a good stain. It stayed where it was. It stained where it was. There you go. Nailed that one. Did you Bartek think that the daughter was going to speak eventually?
Oh yeah.
What did you? Oh yeah, I'm a big expert. Did you expect it when it happened though? Like when it happened, did you go? Ooh.
No, I guess I didn't.
You know what made me get thrown off it? I'm pretty sure that she says it not on camera. Like she's not the one that's focused on in like the frame of the shot. She's like, no, stay. Don't go. Oh, soz. Don't go. The famous line. It's right up there with Rosebud, you know? Don't go.
Don't go.
I was very worried at this point in the movie that she was going to have superpowers. And I was going,
We're not
don't
watching-
do it, guys, because you already took me for a spin when I didn't know it was going to be a comedy.
What kind of powers did you think she
I
was
don't
going to
know,
manifest?
the way she stared, I was like, she's going to levitate something soon. And it's going to really annoy me because I don't like that to be in my dramedies.
He's got a problem with levitation.
I do. Or any
You
kind
thought
of
he was
superpowers.
You thought he was going to turn into Carrie for some
I thought
reason?
this was going to be a superhero
This is
movie.
the Poltergeist house.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
say Wingardium Leviosa.
I do love the fact that this scene just plays out and it's just played straight and then he just walks away. It's not like
Yeah.
in a more modern movie, it would be John C. Reilly would walk in and he'd be like, so here I am opening dog food. Here's your dog food. Here's your food, you dog. Goodbye. Eat your food, dog. And he like walks over and like rubs his ear or something and he's like, go eat your food because I think you're a dog, and then walks away. Like that's how that scene would play out in a new movie, but this one, just silence.
No signposts.
I think the only thing that you could have added to it to make it just still be subtle, just like he looks at Nick Nolte and gives a smile, then walks away.
No, I think he did it good. He was just like, you don't do
I
that.
think it's great. I think that's like the only thing that I would have added if I did
You
it.
see, you're not a dog man. You just put your dog's food
Yeah.
there and just kind of walk away.
I'm awful.
No,
I don't.
you
smile
tickle
at-
them under
I
the chin.
I smile at dogs. I'm awful.
If they're all the way on the other side of the room, nah.
Of course you do.
Of course you do. You tickle them on the
Where's
chin.
your humanity?
Now Bruce McGill's got a great shirt on.
Purple, he's confused.
It's a lavender. No,
Lavender.
purple. Yeah.
You don't need to wear a tie, Mr. Boss. In the French version, it's more a lively sort of. It's not as dark.
Jazz club.
A bit. There's like Tunisian French people there dancing and drinking. Whereas here, it reads criminal, doesn't it?
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, like a gangster, yeah, a mobster.
I mean, he's got a pinky ring, guys. I
They're
mean,
they're in a back room.
dang, I wish I looked up. I swear I know that the black henchman from something. I swear he's like an actor that's someone from something. Like He reminds me of that actor from those Mannequin movies. You remember Mannequin? The one where Mannequin comes to life?
Maybe.
Where a guy finds a female mannequin and then she comes to life again because she was cursed to be a mannequin. This is a real movie. We'll be covering them one day.
It's safely G or PG rated, right?
I hope so.
Yes.
And they have a character in there that's like this big, loud, gay black man, and he reminds me of that actor for some reason. I don't think it is, but he reminds me of him.
It's definitely not Albert Popwell, the I gots to know man. I know that for sure.
You've seen his face a few times. This is coming up to my favourite scene, which is with the German Shepherd, with the policeman.
Oh, right.
They visit the vet. Oh, this is a great scene.
I legitimately thought that dog had a history with Nick Nolte because they were like,
Yes.
yeah, he got injured 4 years ago, but
Yes.
but wait a moment, Nick Nolte's been in prison for
Yeah.
5 years. It doesn't add up. But I thought the dog was like, you're the one who did something to me, and I'm like, ooh.
Dog was injured in prison.
John, is it true in the French version that the German Shepherd is played by a French bulldog?
Yes, and in the French version, he's actually the dog's name is Fang. I don't know the French Fang, F-A-N-G,
Fang.
because he's got fangs, I guess.
Fong. Yeah,
Sounds a bit Asian.
Fong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. No, it makes me think of there's that Christopher Walken performance in the film Bowls of Fury, the one where he plays an Asian man in a ping pong movie, and his name is Feng, but they've been calling him Fang the entire movie, and he's like, no, and he's not even bothering with an accent. He's like, no, it's Fang. You've been calling me Fang the entire time. It's Feng, and there's an E in there, and it's just like, and he's in the full, like, he's got the big geisha girl type hair going on, and like this outfit's crazy. He's got like these massive nails. He's got the Fu Manchu and everything going on. But he plays ping pong. That's a good one to check out. I really thought the film's going to take an interesting turn with Nick Nolte shooting the girl. That would have been an interesting
Wow.
twist
And
to
then she
the convention.
levitates the bullet away.
Yeah. And then she magnetos the bullet away. Yeah, and cripples James McAvoy, and he becomes Professor X. Yeah, that would have been a real great twist to the
In
thing.
the
And
director's
we don't
cut.
see Martin Short again. It's just an X-Men film now.
No, he's in it still, but he becomes like the angry human who's like, I vow to destroy mutants. Yeah, he becomes Stryker from X-Men 2 is what I'm saying. So, guys, this film is, like you were saying, an odd couple movie.
Right. Yes.
Do we have a favorite buddy odd pairing movie or duo of people? I mean, my obvious one is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's a
Of course,
classic.
I like me.
Yeah.
What does he say? What's that line?
Yeah, I like me. Yeah, my wife likes me. Yeah, that's a go-to. But is there any one of those that stand out as favorites to you? You can say Rush Hour.
Look, I was going to say Lethal Weapon, but we don't like Mel anymore. He's
a piece of
just not
garbage.
a good human being. So,
But
that pairing back in the day, that was very fun to watch.
I think I'm obliged to say here's a plug. Clint, Harry Callahan and Chico Gonzalez,
Yes, yeah, Chica, yeah.
He's obviously a college-trained sociologist who joins the police force, and Harry's been on the streets for 20 years, ex-Marines, and will they match? They oil and water, but they do match in the end, don't they? So they're not really.
Bartek?
This could be my favourite.
It's an interesting pairing because we've had a few of them on the show already.
Yeah, but Bruce Cook and Rupert Grint.
Yeah, that's a good pairing. I like how none of us said The Odd Couple themselves.
I liked they're not an odd couple, but it is a buddy film. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Right,
That's a good one.
that's a good one. I'll allow it.
Not quite odd couple though, because they're both.
They're a good couple.
Yeah.
There's Turner and Hooch.
Oh,
Well, that is a good pairing. It's almost as good as Will Arnett with in that movie that came out this year, Show Dogs.
Oh, okay.
With
Yeah, that looks shite.
no man, I saw it in the cinema. Great.
Is it gonna be on the show?
We'll be on the show. You know the movie that had to be cut from a G-rated movie to a G-rated movie? Did you hear about that?
no.
The film
Do you know
had
the controversy?
the
No.
controversy. It had scenes alluding to and/or promoting sexual grooming for children.
Oh,
And so it was a G-rated movie, and then they had to re-edit it to be a G-rated movie.
That must be a first.
It is. I hope so. It's no this movie. Three Fugitives. Yeah, they're great buddy pairing. Midnight Run is also a classic everyone points to. Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro, right?
Kangaroo Jack.
Well, yeah. I mean, the kangaroo and Anthony Anderson. What a double pairing. Now, this is a great scene. The tension's real in this scene, but also the dog's so cute.
Yeah.
Shane, do you prefer the name Max or Fang?
You can just call me Shane.
I'm talking about the dog.
Oh, right.
Just a stupid continuity thing. Do they know for a fact that he's shot? They just heard a gun
No,
shot off in the car.
Yeah, Dugan knows.
He knows? Okay.
Yeah, because...
Why do you fire a gun? But he doesn't know.
Because he says he wouldn't fire a gun.
Yeah.
So then he's like, oh, it's the other guy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing you got to know is, here's a trivia fact. I got this on my own volition. That dog is dead now.
Oh,
I just
really?
remind everyone.
From 89.
Hang on, how many years? And his kids, probably.
When we did 101 Dalmatians, I was very confident in saying every single dog is dead.
Ryan does that in every episode.
With an animal.
And I always see it coming. This time I didn't, but then you looked at me and I'm like, oh, I see what it is.
Because I thought you knew it was coming along, and I'm like...
When you looked at me, I'm like, oh, this trivia fact.
Yeah, the dog's dead, guys. Sorry to mention it, but I think we needed to point it out. It's the dead dog in the room. That's what I needed to point out.
Celebrity deaths really get to me.
He was one of the 2016 ones.
That's a good one,
Too much drugs in his youth.
Yeah, too much dog acting in his youth. I did like the fact. Now, here's the thing: a lot of movies slip up on this thing of continuity that we were talking about before. Nick Nolte does put continuity into The Limp. Like, he really doesn't falter on that. Like, he's always very active in his physicality on his injury in his leg.
He was clearly watching Andy Robinson as Scorpio and Dirty Harry limping.
Yeah,
that was his
it was directly a complimenting performance to that. Nick Nolte's like, man, I tried to be that role, but they just didn't think I was Andy Robinson enough.
I did like that he also had the thing of like, it is getting better throughout the film, but it's always there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And even later, Martin Short continued some injuries that he had in the movie as well. Like, near the end of the movie, he's limping around too from certain things that happened to him.
Well, he's had a lot of exhaustion happening.
I mean, he had to sleep in a fish tank.
Yeah.
Which we never got to see, but I would have loved to have seen that scene.
He was in fishnets at one point, so logically he would move to fish tank.
Yes, Bartek, I understand what you said. We're going to talk about my favorite scene that's coming up, which is Trolley Gang. I love the gang, the two youths that are just pushing around a trolley, and they're very angry about the fact that this guy's sleeping in where they beat up trolleys, I guess, like shopping trolleys.
Instead of a trolley in the French one, they got an 80s sort of boombox.
Oh, are they beating it up too?
Yeah, very corny.
Are they beating it up though?
No.
Because, hey...
Gingerly, gently on their shoulders.
But did you notice this film referenced that boombox? Because Nick Nolte, when he's leaving prison, he hands one of the guys his little boombox.
Yeah. Is that what he hands him? Okay.
Yeah, man.
He's crouched over at the start. Is he going to the toilet or something? You know, we first see him in the prison, McGill prison, yeah. He's cocaine. His last cocaine before he leaves.
You'd hope so.
That quality prison coke.
But I did love the gang of youths that are just pushing around a shopping trolley and just like hurling it downstairs, and they jump down the stairs to beat it up some more. I'm like, this is what was happening in the 80s, I guess,
They hadn't invented GTA yet.
Bartek? In GTA, do you bump into gangs of youths pushing around shopping trolleys and beating them up?
GTA needs more shopping trolleys.
They should make GTA 6 San on shopping trolley. That's what they should call it, man. I've nailed that one. City of Trolleys. That's what they should call it.
Troll City.
Fat Tony's big trolley. That's what they should call it. These are the things they should call it. Now, this was a sweet little moment here. You know, it's showing visually that they're bonding, but he, Martin Short, is isolated.
I see. Juxtaposition.
Who's the real daddy?
Oh, Bartek. We know the answer. It's James Earl Jones.
Jig.
Jig.
Jedge.
JPEG. So, GIF. Oh, boy. No. Yeah, this movie has a lot of twists and turns. Did you ever worry that they were going to get caught by the police?
I don't think I thought ahead like
I
that.
think I'm a bit surprised. He's just, 300 metres away in a warehouse? Surely they might scout the house. They know he can't get far.
But they don't.
They don't. They're
'Cause
dumb.
Because he knocked him out.
Yes.
Nick Nolte's really strong in this movie. Did you notice that? How strong Nick Nolte is? Like, I personally don't think I would be strong enough to lift both a Martin Short and a little girl.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he
when
can.
He lifted that guy out of the red car, yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously. He's like a power lifter. Like he
Like a
just grabs
Terminator.
this guy from the car and lifts him with like little to no stress in doing so. And I'm like, I don't think I could do that, you know. I
Yeah.
legitimately would throw my back out doing
Like,
that. And I'm a young man. Nick Nolte, what, he must be like 59 years old in this?
Like,
No.
even someone who I would think is, like, strong enough to do that with one arm, like, Nick Nolte made it look really effortless. There was, like, no weight to that guy.
He can't be that strong. His heart is melting in this scene.
He has to be strong because we saw it in the film.
Look at these two guys. Nick Nolte would just lift him up with one hand and just be like, yo, I'm strong. I'm Nick Nolte. That's why he played the Hulk's dad.
Ah, right. Makes sense.
They saw this movie. Ang Lee saw this movie and said,
What is he, the Incredible Hulk? Wait a second.
Wait a moment. I'm making just the Hulk, not the Incredible Hulk.
Is that sawdust, grain, or sand, Shane?
Isn't it?
Not sure.
It's ants' nests.
You're right, Ryan. These guys are
Anthills.
magical. And the bit with the trolley, it's up there with Gutenberg in Police Academy 2 when he's trying to infiltrate. Yeah, Jughead.
This movie could have used more Gutenberg
Every movie can.
or more Bobcat Goldthwait. Every movie could use more Bobcat. Bobcat could have played the guy taking his pants off, and he's like, "Oh, jeez, man!" Oh, and just takes his pants off and then throws them at him, and then he could be an antagonist throughout the rest of the movie, getting his pants back.
You know that voice is put on, right?
I know that.
You know why he did it? He was nervous on stage when he
Yeah.
was a stand-up. So
Yeah, because Bobcat, he's a good director
yeah.
too. Like, I'd recommend watching The World's Greatest Dad, Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Really.
It's fucking funny, but really sad too. Like, that's the movie where that's the one with Robin Williams where his son's like the world's biggest asshole.
And then asphyxie wanks himself to
Yeah,
death.
sexually
Yep.
asphyxiates himself to death, and Robin Williams stages it look like a
Yeah,
suicide, and everyone's
for
like, "Oh,
sympathy.
your poor son, and you, poor you," and he's like, "Oh, I know."
Oh god.
It's a good movie, and he has some real great movies in his catalog too. Bobcat, worth checking out, as well as an actor. Bobcat should have been in this. That
As
voice.
one of the police officers. Yeah.
Yeah, as the guy who gets his pants stolen.
Okay.
Now, Bartek, on a scale of 1 to 10.
5.
Okay. Shane, on a scale of 1 to 10, how sexy is Nick Nolte in this outfit?
It seems about a 3.5.
I wish I said 8.
You mean a 10, right?
Yeah, sorry. A 10. Yes.
The real question is he better looking than the hood he stole the get-up, his clothes from?
Yeah, I think so, man.
I agree.
Nick Nolte, I've never thought, leather pants. But this movie said, yes.
He can lift me with his right arm any day.
Those poor nuts. They just got fucking devastated. This guy, I wanted to see more of this guy because he seemed like he had a lot of social anxiety. Because in this scene, he's just proving, no, I haven't. We don't even know what they're arguing about before this
Yeah, he
scene
says,
starts.
"What do you mean I've lost my nerve?"
Yeah,
What a thing to be angry about, that particular put down.
You don't want to catch him with his pants down.
It's probably best he's going to the toilet if he's so angry. He's got to...
He's
Get
got
some
to
things out of
he's
him.
got to drop a mean deuce. You're right. Yeah, I feel sorry for him, man. He's losing everything, according to the other guy.
Well, Bartek, we haven't seen our heroes, I mean, the cops, for a while. Do you reckon they could be in this movie more?
Well, I
don't know.
did mention that they're not in the last third of it.
And I said they're
Yeah.
not in the last 70% of everything.
That's right.
Well, you meant overall, though. I was talking
Of
about-
everything, yeah.
I was just talking about, like, there's a point where you just don't see them anymore, and that's when Nick Nolte's kind of off the hook for the bank robbery at the beginning of the film.
Right.
And I guess in another world, I would have liked to have seen them a bit more throughout the film, even if it's just in that, like, the section of the film where Nick Nolte is under suspected of robbing the bank. But I have to say, this film is fantastic.
Yeah. Is it your favorite bank heist movie? I know it's no Dog Day Afternoon.
Look, it's up there definitely with I don't remember if it was
Baby
a bank
Driver?
exactly, but Catch That Kid.
yeah, the Kristen Stewart movie.
Was it a bank or was it just a big company?
A company vault?
Well, still a heist film.
There's this Bill Murray movie where he robs a bank, and at the beginning of it, the bank, it's all about he robbed a bank and has to get away with it. Him, Randy Quaid, and Gina Davis. And it's all like, and then he pretends he's dressed up as a clown, and he like lets go of his balloons to block the camera. Do you guys remember this?
What's her name? Bandits?
Sounds like a very vivid dream.
No, and then there's and then he is on the phone. He's like, release hostages one at a time, and then he releases himself as one of the hostages without the clown makeup, and they don't know that it's not him. And then he goes off, and then years later, Denzel Washington did a very similar movie where he was the policeman, and it's the exact same crime heist. And I'm like, what are you ripping off Bill Murray movies now, Denzel? Do you really need an Oscar again? Come on. But Bartek, Shane, John, who deserved an Oscar the most in this movie?
The short bank teller.
Okay, I know you
I
want
would
you
second
want
the
an
nomination.
Oscar.
That's just me, yes.
You want it because you want to play him the
Yes.
most. Shane,
Is
best-
that a no butt from you, Ryan?
no buts, no buts, please.
I think you're angling for Martin Short, right?
Yeah, we're going to give
Martin
it to
Short.
him. We got
It's
it.
a good choice, man. The Short performs, man.
Yeah, it's memorable.
Look at his ears.
Yeah.
They're
they do
performing,
the work.
man. they're pulling through. Bartek, Oscar-winning actor in this movie.
Look, when it comes to people that win Oscars, you have to look at the unique things that they did. So when Heath Ledger won for the Joker, he was like playing this crazy character. I was like, ooh, look how crazy this character is. It's very, very, it's something different. It's not just playing a guy really, really well. You have to give it to a character that is, showing a sort of broken part of humanity. That's why we have to give it to the veterinarian.
Oh,
I knew you were going to point to him.
Fantastic.
I knew you were going
And
to.
I had a reason, too.
You grab on. That was
I
your.
just said the reason.
No, say it again.
Because he was playing
A broken man.
A broken man. He's not mentally there.
So he's Forrest Gumping it, right?
I guess.
Yeah. It has to be one of those. It's either you have to have someone who's playing someone physically or mentally disabled, something like they're gay or dying of AIDS. Like these are the Oscar-winning performances, or they're grief-stricken. And this guy,
And like Tropic Thunder points out, not going full retard. Yeah.
not going full retard.
No, you
That's
went full.
full retard. Beef.
Said by a person who was nominated for that role, right?
What was the old wording on DVD boxes, Shane? Or was VHS? Like the phrase was acknowledged by Oscar or rewarded by Oscar, and they had the picture of the actual medal.
The
Animated
nomination.
trophy.
as Oscar, yeah. Was it acknowledged by? I can't remember.
Yeah. Oscar, yeah. Academy Award
Yeah.
nominated
Yeah.
or acknowledged by.
Now there was funny verb. I can't think. I'll let you guys know. It's
Owned.
owned. Acknowledged by
Not
Oscar.
the winner.
Martin Short acknowledged for.
Martin Short seen by Oscars but not nominated.
Passed
You're right.
over.
The stain's still there, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
On his right
Yeah.
sleeve, yeah. Continuity girl. Well done. Oh, sorry, a woman.
Or
Very good.
boy, we don't know. Or
robot.
dog,
Continuity
we don't know. It
robot.
could have been.
Continuity entity.
It was Gary Busey. He was like, I gotta get a role in this. I mean, Gary Busey, what would he have been doing at this time? Probably having his brain injury at the time, right?
Yeah, it's been a few years. Yeah, what did he do his big things? Big Wednesday and then Point Break. There's a whole lot of catalogue.
His return to form after his brain injury was Predator 2. That was his first movie back after he had a brain injury.
To go back to the Oscars, if any of these actors were to die,
Who would get the biggest post, like,
but
memoriam?
You know how in the memoriam they sometimes show like a clip from something? Is there any clip from this film that you would give to any actor that died?
And Martin Short's wearing a dress at the end.
Yeah.
Versatile gender roles.
And him saying in that scene, like, don't look at me. That would be great. And Steve Martin introduces the segment. That would
Or that
be...
Nick Nolte saying, "I'll be back, I promise."
Yeah, I'll be back.
I would also really want to give it to Alan Ruck, just because his scene where he's also laughing is worth it too. Or the little girl. The biggest plot twist is in like 80 years' time they give it to this little girl who's only in like 3 projects.
Or they could just, like, not even she dies, just, like, they just play the clip of her saying, "Don't go."
And the winner for Best Picture in 2018 is such and such, and then they just play that clip instead.
Don't go.
Don't go. I love this joke. I love the joke that the police just don't know who they are until, like, it's too late. It's like, oh yeah, that's who it is. I do like that they're polite enough to move out of the way of the van. Like, we are on an active road, guys.
It's like, no, you have to hit us.
Shane, where's little girl running to in particular? Just away?
Just away, I think.
When you were a little girl having to run away from Nick Nolte and Martin Short not getting back
I
together.
have the
I
answer.
ran straight to the ice
What's the
cream
answer,
shop.
Bartek?
Well, you know how she's sad that Nick Nolte went away?
Yes.
She's going away.
Oh.
To Home and Away, the set of the famous Australian soap opera, so that she can get a role on it to then eventually lead to her being in an Avengers movie. Is that it?
Did it start in the 80s?
Yes.
Then yes.
88.
Ooh, so it's fresh.
Yeah, fresh.
What a good present we gave ourselves for the bicentennial year. This great soap.
Home and Away.
We've
There.
just forgotten the tidbit here that Nick Nolte said he grew up in a children's home.
And he turned out fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at you, law-abiding citizen. This movie is not endorsing children's homes. Are there any movies that endorse them?
They get a
Problem
bad rap.
Child gets a bad rap, doesn't it? Gilbert Gottfried's the administrators.
Oh, if Gilbert Gottfried's the administrator, then it's the best film ever made.
Gilbert Gottfried.
That's also a voice being put on.
What about Oliver? Do they give him some more?
No, they get really mad that he asked for more and have a song about it.
And then Oliver Reed comes in drunk and he's like, "No, I'll show you more," and kills a kid. Yeah.
There's a line in that song which has faulty logic. Well, 2 lines, actually.
I love the fact that you remember great details about Oliver, but then there'll
Great
be other...
details.
Yeah.
Mistakes.
Like little things.
Like, yeah,
Actually, those
great,
are great details, yeah.
Wow, you really showed me there, Bartek. Oh, yeah, Ryan. I remember locations? Yeah. Just because I remember geography. Like, you just really
Just 'cause I
showed
have
me
2
there.
degrees in this subject.
Here's a fun fact: in the original stage production of Oliver before it became a movie, Barry Humphries played Fagin in the first rollout in London. Yeah, so there you go.
I would love to have seen him do it in the movie.
Dame Edna as Fagin.
But I guess he was too busy not...
You've got to pick a pocket or 2, gladioles. Or...
No, he does it as Les Patterson. real drunk and misogynistic. Yeah.
You gotta pick a pocket or 2. You know.
Were you worried about this old man? Did you
No.
think like Martin Short, like the worst of people?
No.
No, you were on board for old men giving girls candy?
Not this
You
old-
heard it here,
not this old
folks.
mate.
You thought that he was going to scam her out of her money.
I really thought it was going to be like Bruce McGill rips off her grey wig and is like, aha, it's me all along. Not really, but I really wanted him to come back. What I'm saying is, one of my big problems with this movie, and I think it's one of the reasons that are unappreciated, is the it kind of shifts gears from antagonists. It's like Bruce McGill's an antagonist. James Earl Jones is an antagonist.
Judge?
Sorry, Canada is an antagonist. You know?
Well, doesn't Nick Nolte have a line just as Martin Short is leaving him at the vet? Don't trust anyone.
That's what he says when on the lamb. Keep your head down. Don't trust anyone, even your friends.
Yes, and Martin Short, is definitely on the lam throughout the whole film.
And the rest of his life.
Yeah.
All of them are, man. Except for Nick Nolte, I guess. He's fine.
Well, he's gonna stick around as this. Says.
When they get into the 2 men and the little lady section of the film.
Oh,
Yeah, man. Leonard Nimoy's best movie.
in the French version, sorry to interrupt with that.
Oh, do it.
I think the actual girl says,
Oui, oui.
"My dad's in jail and my mummy's dead. My dad's in jail." She tells the cops on the car. I think when
Right. She says it in French, though, right?
oui, or as the cool French kids say, way.
Mama kablooey, daddy, bye bye.
I like that we don't find out how the mum died, but I do love how disengaged the police are when they're at his house, and it's like, yep, wife dead. Something wrong with the daughter. What's
Not
wrong with
normal.
her?
I don't
Not
know.
normal.
Not normal.
Not
A
normal.
lot of kids that weren't normal in the 80s.
Well, we don't get Nick Nolte's backstory either,
Well, he robbed 14 banks.
apart from this part. But
Do
about
they
his
say
family,
14
does he
banks?
have
They
kids?
do.
Does he have a woman?
These
No.
guys don't have career changes.
Well, see, he robbed 14 banks, and he was in a children's home.
That's it.
Maybe the very same
Children's
one.
home,
Did they say
robberies.
that
Oh,
it was-
and he knows Bruce.
Oh, still.
Did they say he robbed 14 banks or just 14 armed robberies?
14 convictions. But yeah.
14 armed robs.
Like they could have just gone to a shop and like gone.
Well, he's a bank man. Even Charlie says he wouldn't strike for so little money.
Oh, that's a good point.
When it was
actually,
like
yeah.
13 grand or 14 grand or whatever, it was like, you wouldn't strike a bank for that little amount of money. So, unless there's some really, 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 really well-funded, like, liquor stores...
Or maybe he's like, thinks of everything relative. Like, okay, bank, nothing less than 50,000. But a betting shop, go 10 grand.
I know, I like the idea that he walks into a liquor store and he's like, give me the gold! And they're like, we don't have any. And they're like, yes, you do. And then they have to open up the basement and there's like... crates upon crates of like glowing gold, and they're like, how did you know? And he's like, I know all. Like, or he goes to like, robs a diner, and he's like, all right, give me the nuclear weapons. Like, I want to sell them on the black market. It's like, we don't have any.
No, they do it the other way around. It's like, all right, we'll give them to you. Then they go to the back and it's like, oh, we lied, we don't have any.
Oh, we're out. We just sold them to.
We were robbed last week.
We were robbed last week.
Ryan, did you love this scene?
I think James Earl Jones loved this scene. Judd loved this scene. Jedge.
You better love it because it's the last scene we see them in, I think, isn't it? Except when the next scene where the reporters come out saying that Lucas isn't the bad
Yeah,
guy.
I think that's the last scene, right?
Yeah.
And then he says like, Lucas. George Lucas.
Rucky's great in this. I love it, Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah, I just liked watching the guy's eyebrows move when he talked.
Yeah, there's sort of a bit of a Tony Curtis look about him in the later years.
Tony Curtis in his later years.
Yeah, those big eyebrows.
I guess so. I never thought of Tony Curtis's big eyebrows. I thought
He had them. Check it out.
check it out, guys. You heard it here. Check out Tony Curtis's eyebrows.
When he said, wait, I have something else, I thought that was going to come back, but it didn't.
Look at James go. Let it go, James. Alan Ruck, you're already gone. He did really look like Edward Norton laughing then. But James Earl Jones just can't help himself.
The equivalent scene of this in the French version doesn't have the vet coming at all. They just refer on the phone that we found the money at the vet's house.
And then James Earl Jones laughs hysterically to the bank.
So in that movie, they know
Judge.
all the time that to the end that Lucas, and you see them a few more times that Lucas and him they suspect are together, and yeah.
Man, do you wish you could be someone who can be called by all three names? James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
I can.
Yes, that's great.
Like,
Jones' surname, but
Everyone will go around saying, Bartłomiej Piotr Kasprzyszak.
like, don't you wish you
oh,
could...
wait, whoa! Does your name have podcast in it? Bartek Podcast.
Piotr.
Oh, sorry.
You know, podcast is a very famous Polish word. Yeah, we invented it, actually. I do... that, or do you wish you could be someone who's just called by one name, like Cher?
Yeah, that's way cooler.
Yeah.
It's less pretentious, somehow.
What, being one name?
One name, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Even Jesus is Jesus Christ.
H. Christ.
Of Nazareth.
Yeah, man.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. It looks like Police Academy, this children's orphanage.
Well, there you go. Maybe it is. Maybe the Goot's waiting in there.
Oh, so that's why you thought of this place when I said academy.
Yeah.
Yes, Bartek, the giant building. It really reminded me of an academy, unlike the one that we saw just a corner of. Yeah.
But the one that you saw a corner of had a sign in front of it?
Oh, that's different then.
Exactly.
I'm very soz.
You're very forgiven.
Now, would you want to see a continuation of these guys' stories, Shane?
Absolutely not.
No, but let me pitch it to you like this. Each one's a different genre. How'd that be?
Okay, so the next one is like a vampire film noir.
Yeah.
Okay,
With
now I'm
location.
in.
Like, oh my god, Martin Short's been bitten by a vampire in Canada, and now he's turning, and Nick Nolte is like, oh no.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got me.
Right? Right? And then the third one, they go to space.
Fine. Yeah, I'm
Even
into
though in
that
space
too.
there'll be a lot of levitation, though.
Amazing. But
Yeah.
that's science, right? This is not supernatural.
Well,
levitation. I'm into that.
here's the thing. In space, we don't know if there are vampires there
Right.
because telescopes have mirrors in them.
True.
Uh-huh.
So
Ryan-
how
but
do we know if
Ryan-
space isn't filled with vampires?
But Ryan, aliens can be anything.
Exactly. So third one, what would you call them? Would you call them like 3 fugitives, 4 fugitives, 5 fugitives,
Perfect,
and like
the
gain
Ocean's
more?
Sevens
And then
in
they
it,
eventually give up to Magnificent 7. Like, they eventually work their way up to there to Ocean's 11.
100%. Or we haven't seen a franchise really go backwards. Maybe 2 fugitives, 1 fugitive, 0, -1 fugitive. That's where things start to get quite
And then-
interesting.
Yeah, when they're little sperms and they're
the
fighting
quantum-
against
in
each
the
other.
quantum
And
realm.
then eventually the filmmakers are done, and then a few decades later, there's like a
Remakes?
no, not a remake, but like a new sequel, like a Rocky Balboa, and it's just called 3 Fugitives again.
yeah, like the Rambo movies. It's just
Yeah.
all confusing.
Yeah.
Like the Dirty Harry movies, where you don't need to say Dirty Harry 2. You call it Magnum Force, and then, like, to the point in which you go, so which one's the fourth one?
Magnum 4th.
Yeah, exactly, Magnum Fourth. What is the fourth Dirty Harry movie? There's like 5 of them, right?
Sudden Impact. The third one, yeah, Sudden Impact, right?
Is the fourth one?
It's the fourth one, Sudden Impact.
And the third one is?
Is the Enforcer.
And the fifth one is the Deadpool.
The Deadpool.
Is that where Deadpool got his name from?
I said this to all my nerd friends when this movie came out. I said, "There's only one effing Deadpool," but you're lucky because it's a piece of shit. So this animation one, this Marvel one's gonna be better.
I don't know. It didn't have Jim Carrey as a drug-addled rock star, so what's the point?
Career-defining role.
It really actually was.
Yeah.
Helped launch him into the film world. Unlike this lady.
An adult
Receptionist.
lady, we should say.
Ooh, with a speaking role.
So, take your comments back, Shane, and put them in your pocket.
Yeah, it's a little bit late. Would like to follow her story a bit more in the sequel.
Well, man, maybe she's just suffering from, like,
Burnout.
post-traumatic stress disorder because her husband died in the war. This is all the story for 2 fugitives.
Husband died in the war. This does not pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't speak about him.
But she mentions husband died in the war.
No, she doesn't. The narrator does.
Who
You
was a
know,
woman.
James L. Jones does as a narrator, but he's not Dugan. You just have, hey man, if you had to have him voice your life, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Or are you more of a Keith David kind of guy?
No, Judge.
Judge? Wow, you're really putting Morgan Freeman out to pasture, huh? You don't want him? He's
But
literally
He only has two words to his name.
Morgan Freeman. You're right!
They're both first names too.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, Freeman.
Keith David has 2 first names. Yeah, you're right.
David's not a first name.
Keith is, though. You're right.
Yeah.
So this sequence here is really sad.
Very much.
This movie isn't afraid to make you sad, guys. Did you feel sad here, Bartek? Did you think that she wasn't going to eat anymore?
Of course, Ryan. This is the real in memoriam scene.
She died because she didn't eat. You know what they say? Never, never, ever eat.
Yes.
Don't eat shit.
Okay, I'm leaving. There's a good one.
Has he done the lifting scene already with Martin Short
No.
and her? So yeah.
No, not
So
yet.
that's in the
So
house,
this
right?
explains why he can lift 2 people.
Yeah.
Martin Short lost 30 kilos for this role, and the child's on a
And
hunger
he's-
And his
strike.
character's probably losing weight now because he's like
And
basically homeless.
he slept in a fish tank. So
Absolutely.
Martin Short every night would tuck himself into a fish tank that you'd have in your house, and he would curl himself
like a
up.
fishbowl.
A fish bowl.
He lives in the castle.
He
like
lives
a
in the little,
castle set piece.
and he's always trying to open up the little treasure chest, but it just won't open for him.
He wants to
And
be like Nick Nolte. He thinks he knows where the gold is.
And then Nick Nolte has to walk over every night and just dump a little bit of fish kibble in his bowl.
Not
Little
too much.
flakes.
Not too much, or
Go
Martin
fatten him
Short
up.
will eat himself to death.
Mm.
Yeah. And the police are like, you can't be a fish in this dog-eat-dog town, man. But fish do eat fish in this fish-eat-fish town. That's true. Here's the thing, guys, though. With this movie, there's the dated quality to it. Like, this is a very 1980s movie. This has the soundtrack and the actors and the kind of let's be honest, you won't see a movie like this made today, would you?
No.
Well, Ryan, he did just call a pink monkey him. That sounds pretty progressive.
Wow, you're right. He was really flying the flags of, like, gender fluidity.
The language is all over the place for a PG film, isn't it?
Don't you appreciate that, though?
Fucking asshole. I do, and that's something you wouldn't get these days. Yeah.
Do you think there's...
Does it look like a telly movie to you?
Yeah.
It looks like a cinematic movie to me. It's
Really?
got Martin
Okay.
Short in it.
Yes.
I mean...
Whenever I see those scenes we saw with the beds in the dormitory, the orphanage, it always just looks cheap to me. No matter how it's done with the light streaming in, I just think
yeah.
TV movie or
Orphanage and sheep doesn't go together.
Oh, he took you down the road.
Oh. Well, speaking of Bartek,
Yeah, speaking of me, orphanages and sheep.
no, I was just bored, and yesterday I googled is the name Kowalski comes from the word sluzarz, meaning locksmith. And that's what our character here is. A locksmith is a great profession to him. He's been robbing all these banks, and now he's fallen back on his the only thing he knows to do.
So basically, Kowalski is the Polish smith?
Yes, is that true?
Sounds true to me.
From the word sluzarz. Sluzarz.
Can I have a look at that?
Bartek wants to really pronounce it for you. He's like, no, it is that. You're right.
Because I thought, no doubt we're going to spit on this movie. But we need to bring a Polish connection here.
Polish it up. Bartek's stroking his chin. He's like
Sluzarz.
connecting language.
I think it's
He's nailed.
Slussage?
Yeah, yeah, man. You want to phone your mum this time?
Not too sure about the accented S, but yes, Slussage maybe. Slussage?
Do you think Nick Nolte's character Ryan could he ever have a 9-to-5 job?
Yeah, I think he could as a bank teller.
He knows his way around the bank.
He knows his way around the bank. He's tall.
It's like how they have what's the Catch Me If You Can guy? The Frank Abagnale. He was all about getting around fraud after his criminal life. Right?
He's still doing that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, helping the FBI detect fraud. Yeah, man. What we're saying is he could really help solve the financial crisis. He's a real bank guy, and that's what Bruce McGill was upset by, because he thought he was going to be like a bar guy, and then he found out he was a bank guy, and he was like, oh, I wanted to hire you for the bar. You seem like a guy who knows how to make a good cocktail, and then he was like, sorry, dude, I'm all about investment
He
loans.
could probably also make a decent cop.
Yeah.
He's got the strength. He's got the stamina.
He should be He should be an Olympic gold medal winning power lifter. That's what he should be
Like
doing.
shot put or hammer throwing. Or
No,
something.
powerlifting.
Yeah.
Just
And we've seen the quality of the police work in this town, so the bar is set quite low.
and he can lift it with his powerlifting. I do love the fact that they grabbed a completely different girl.
A
That's
little Asian
great.
girl.
And I like the idea that the police did that on purpose to know that he would try and come and break in. That
And
and
they-
she has the little pink gorilla. So I like the idea.
And the hairstyle too.
And they gave her that hairstyle. They're like, okay, you're gonna be the
Decoy.
decoy.
And it's
Then-
not even an orphan, it's an undercover cop.
And then she rips off the wig as Vern Troyer. And it's like, hello, it's me. Hello, it's me. He doesn't have a deep. He doesn't have a deep voice.
Sound a bit like SpongeBob.
Why was Nick Nolte just hanging out forlornly in his van, eating his curried egg sandwich, just waiting? What was he hanging around there for?
It's the idea of a good time.
He's hungry.
Yeah.
Have you ever been hungry when kidnapping?
It's like, I'm not in prison anymore.
Yeah, exactly. In prison.
Yeah, and to be fair, for most of the film up until that point, he'd just gotten out of prison and hadn't really had a full day of rest.
Don't worry, he's gonna have caviar later.
He does, yeah.
Surely a very suspicious thing is a man, I don't know, just hanging outside an orphanage.
It's different. It's nighttime and it's the 80s.
Well, he
Yeah,
knows the
fine.
policewoman that's inside, I guess.
I like that he does know immediately it's a policewoman. Like, I didn't straight away
Me
click.
neither.
I thought she was just a real asshole of a woman who works at an orphanage. She's like, you're gonna eat! You're gonna like it!
And who lets him have 5-minute visit.
And I was
Even though
like-
she said he couldn't.
I was like, it is the 80s. People were a lot meaner to children back then. Isn't that right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see
I
Arnold
thought the same.
Schwarzenegger in those films?
I do not have a tumor. Is that what you're talking about?
I was talking about Terminator more
Please,
so,
sir.
but...
Terminator. Because I was going to say, man, Kindergarten Cop, he's pretty... What, that he locks her in there?
No, just his line about guilty. I mean, technically, you can't kidnap your own child. I suppose it's some other technology.
I mean, you can
Of
if
course
they've
you
been
can.
taken
No,
away
it's not
from...
kidnapping, though.
It is if they've been taken away from you and you don't have custody over them.
Yeah, but you can't actually. Well, I guess you can maybe award custody to the Department
As
of
a
Social
policeman, I will guarantee you 100% you can kidnap your own children.
No, I just meant
can't say it.
the technicality.
Bartek, you're really yearning to not say something about kidnapping. Is it that you've kidnapped a kid? Where are they, Bartek?
No, that's not what I was going for.
Okay, Bartek's got something on his tongue, and that...
Aborigines.
Oh, right, the
Oh.
Stolen Generation.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Cultural touchstone of the Australian nation, of course. Yes, and I'm sure that the filmmakers of the American remake of the French film were thinking of that very actively when making this. Martin Short was smoking a nice cigar, and he was thinking about that, yeah. How would this movie have been if, in your mind, if they chose two comedic actors? Because Nick Nolte's not a comedic actor.
Oh, this is the scene where they carry.
Oh, good. Thanks,
The
Bartek.
powerlifting scene.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I could do this. Upstairs?
No, it's impressive. I was impressed. Yeah.
In the French version, before they bring her back here, they actually go to a doctor who's drunk and tries to give her a tonic, whatever a tonic is, to make her feel better, and then they come back here.
So the French are way more progressive than, huh?
And also in between that, when he's going out for a baguette or whatever, he bumps into the cop again, who says, we're going to get you wherever you are. And so the cops appear a few more times.
And it becomes Les Mis, basically. Oh, you stole a piece of bread. He's like, no, Jean Valjean. And then they break into song and dance, and it's still better than Russell Crowe singing. So, and it's in French.
Did they break into dance in Les Mis?
It's a musical.
But did they break? I don't remember them dancing. I remember
We've
them
had-
singing.
Sorry to interrupt. We've had asshole, shit, and all these things, but it's weird for Nick Nolte to go, you're giving me
Wait,
the
he's shaking the fuck out of that
Yeah.
girl.
This is a
That's
callback
abuse.
to the scene of the callback of the other callback.
That was
Remember?
abuse.
It's a shaking thing that he does.
I was
That's his thing.
I was looking very carefully to see if it was actually the little girl, and it is the little
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
And I thought he shook her so hard that the
That she
frames.
became hungry.
No, her face became so blurry, and I thought it's someone wearing it's got to be a little person
mask.
wearing a mask, right? Like in the Thing when the guy gets his arms ripped off, and it's like actually a guy with amputated arms who's wearing a mask of the Doctor. I thought it was gonna be like that, but no, it's actually they just went, Nick, this is the 15th take. She's blacked out. Shake her as hard as you can, man. Like, I don't know how he got away with that, but he shook the shit out of her. Like,
I don't think you'd do that in a movie film these days.
why not?
I don't think
They got
so.
CGI now.
No, there's a way. You can make shaking
They're all
read as
unionized.
shaking.
They're all
unions.
unions.
The fucking unions.
When she wasn't on set, she was chimney sweeping. Like, that's how it goes. But what I was going to say was, this movie has a non-comedic actor and a comedic actor teamed up. Obviously, it
Mismatched.
works for this movie because, you know, it is a dramedy more so than, like, you know, it's got drama elements and then comedy elements. It's heavy on both of them, like, you know? So that's why I'm saying it's a drama-comedy. Do you think this movie could have worked if they had two comedic actors, like Steve Martin and Martin Short together doing this? Or what do you think?
Yeah, maybe. It might be a bit top-heavy.
Do you consider Planes, Trains, and Automobiles being two comedic actors in the mission?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though one of them's kind of playing it a bit more straight?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's Steve Martin.
Well, I guess if they play it like that, then it's fine. But
Yeah.
you're saying if they're both acting comical the whole way
Well,
through, right?
because Planes, Trains is a comedy movie with some dramatic elements in there, obviously. It's
But
a
you're
movie.
imagining the same pairing of characters, just played by different actors.
Yeah, like a comedic actor.
So
Do you
we
think...
Of a comedic actor playing a straight character. It's always fun, yes.
Yeah, man.
But in this movie, of course, I think Nolte character needs to be sort of fit and well built and strong, like
Gruff.
a strong man.
Just for
And
that.
how many gruff comedic people are there really?
You got me there.
The Rock, I guess, is he funny now? Finally, after 15 years, Bartek.
Roseanne, I suppose.
Roseanne. What? Roseanne's really gruff. You're right.
I read that
Joe Piscopo would have nailed this.
I read that the two actors that Nick Nolte often gets compared to in terms of roles are Harrison Ford and Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Busey. Well,
And Busey.
yes,
at one point.
Well, I reckon this movie could have worked.
Kowalski.
Could have worked with Michael Keaton playing
okay.
straight man,
Yeah, yeah.
but I guess he was too busy being Batman.
He couldn't take them both up the stairs, though. Keaton, could he?
Oh no,
Is he tall?
no.
Yeah.
But you know what I love about Michael Keaton? The one thing you need to be Batman is a chin, and Michael Keaton has no chin. So that's why when they got Val Kilmer, it's like, chin. We need to go with it. George Clooney, chin. And Christian Bale, nah. Yeah.
Kevin Conroy, chin.
Well, you can hear the chin. You can hear the chin.
I know, I wasn't making a joke.
Adam West, chin. Not really, but like, didn't matter back then. Now, Bartek, is this a good haircut?
Actually, doesn't look too bad for a guy that I assume hasn't cut hair before.
Well, he was in prison. He might have learnt how to cut hair.
You don't think they hired like top hairdressers to come in and cut their hair?
Vidal Sassoon.
Guys, would you want that haircut?
No.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Really? Come on, Shane. You've got long hair. Wouldn't you
What
like
I
him to
want-
cut it
I
like
want
that?
The Jedge haircut from Conan.
Conan,
Yeah, the long black,
You mean-
straight to the waist.
the gorgeous hair.
That's beautiful.
The one
That's
that
epic.
makes you look like a snake.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great.
The
haircut.
Jedge hair.
Yeah. Timeless.
Or his one in Darth Vader when he gets unmasked. That's a good haircut.
Mm.
Just bits of metal sticking out of your
He's
head.
taking off a mask, right? It's not cutting.
No, it's a good haircut.
He's taking off a mask.
Yeah, I know, Bartek, but no, that's a good haircut. The wig's styled very nicely, and then they fuck it up later with trucks, which was a great... John just shook his head like, no.
So it made it sound like the film was ruined because of trucks. Fucking trucks.
They were filming one day, and then a truck came along, and it was all ruined from there.
And it levitated. And...
Man, and I don't like powers in my movies. I don't like superpowers coming out of nowhere.
No.
I can't believe that you thought she's gonna have superpowers.
I absolutely did.
Like you're like, at what point is she gonna become an X-Men?
Yeah.
She's just sitting there, and you're like, in this scene, you must have been really worried that she's like, oh no, is she really gonna like
By
there-
now, I'm comfortable that they're not going to make such a terrible writing decision or such a brave writing decision. I should say.
The end of the movie should have been the cops coming in, and she's like, oh no, and freezes time. And they're like, what? You could have done that the whole time?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes. Really, doesn't every movie everyone has superpowers until they show it, then it's true that they have superpowers? What I'm saying is every movie a character secretly has superpowers.
Just like real life.
Yeah, man.
What if in every character's introduction they always sneak in a line about how I don't have superpowers?
Yeah. It's like, hello, I don't have superpowers. Oh.
Everyone get down! I don't have superpowers, but I have a grenade!
yeah, that's how this movie should have opened up.
Okay.
I've got a pet peeve here, Ryan, Bartek, Shane.
What's its name?
Convict. I don't like when Americans use the word convict. That's our name. That's our word. You
Australians?
have felons, you know.
We have
convicts are us.
convicts, man. Leave us alone. We are the poor, suffering ones here. We are a nation of convicts. We
Not me.
stole bread.
I didn't.
You're part of the nation.
Do you think
I didn't
that
steal anything.
That sounds like a thief to me, guys. I don't know.
Thieves don't lie.
has the time come for the can fashion move in such circles that we can bring those arrows back on our white shirts? Can we,
Which arrows?
like from the convicts?
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Because
yes.
I feel like that's wasted if no one wants to be associated with that. I think that's cool. I want to bring that back.
Now,
What this movie did have on the cover, obviously, was the ball and chain around their leg on one of them.
yeah,
You know, the convicts had in the 19th century. They had that ball.
the literal ball and chain.
Yeah.
He's
Stop
not
them
talking
from
about. He's
moving.
not talking about a wife.
Wow.
He's talking about a literal ball and chain.
As a kid at Sovereign Hill, I saw some or whatever, and I always thought there was like explosives. If they moved, it'd be.
Oh, you thought it was. You thought it was
Because
like.
bombs are around and have this.
What, you thought it was the film Fortress or something?
Yes.
When they leave, their heads explode because of the collars or whatever they have? Yeah, that's exactly the film.
I don't think it would slow Nick Nolte down at all.
Or being exploded?
Oh, well. I was more talking about the ball and chain. You could put one on each leg and one
I've
on each
played-
hand.
He would just lift it up.
Yeah, he has no problems.
I've played a game called Sengoku Basara, which is sort of like one of those warriors games where like you fight like millions of weak people around a battlefield and like pass objectives. And one of the characters, because one of the unique things about characters, like, oh, what weapon do they use? One of them has like
A
his
Nick Nolte?
his arms cuffed to like a large ball and chain, and that's what he fights with.
Oh, that's
So he has a bunch
cute.
of big move set based on having this huge ball chain.
I like him already.
Now, can we point out something in this entire gag, which is Martin Short's dressed as a woman, but in a more conventional movie, he would be wearing like
Lipstick.
bra.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like they would like have to pat his chest.
Yeah, and they don't even attempt it in this movie because
That's still
They pat his stomach at one point.
That's still a going concern, isn't it? All everyone was going, oh, why does Captain Phasma in the new Star Wars have to have the
boob armor.
breastplates? Boom armor.
The boob armor.
Well, they couldn't put lipstick on her.
You know what? They do kind of acknowledge, sort of, in the way that I think just before when the wig got blown away. Oh, there are ugly women, so.
So women
And if we're
are
going-
flat-chested are ugly, according to Bartek.
Wow.
You heard it here,
This is-
guys.
What I'm going
Take
with
that,
is-
flatties.
What I'm going with is the fact that that's acknowledging that they don't have to make him conventionally beautiful.
That's right.
I
And
wonder.
conventionally beautiful, like, oh, you gotta have big tits.
Or Martin Short's the
something.
kind of woman. If he was a woman, he wouldn't have tits
Or
That's
lipstick.
yeah. It's
or
exactly what I
lipstick.
mean.
It's funny in
That's
this
exactly what I mean.
in
yeah.
this version they make Martin Short more nervous, right? So that he opens the window. That's why the window.
Yeah, he was about to vomit. Yeah,
Yeah, so
Because
they're
caviar.
implicitly making him feminine and whining, whereas in the French version, the daughter's still sick from the night before or whatever happened, so she opens the door. He opens the window for the daughter to get some air, and that's what causes.
Oh, but in this movie, they're making the daughter the most strong-willed, powerful character in
she's
the
definitely
movie.
got some sort of power, Shane.
Take
Just
that.
not levitation.
But that pairing really turns into a husband and wife sort of bickering and sort of like
Yeah.
a cliched husband and wife TV sort of style
I do
relationship.
love that he's like, she's pregnant, and it's like, look at him. Does he look it? But he is bending over, so it's hard to see if he does have a belly. So, it's hard to know. But, I do. He does look. Nick Nolte looks like he's just walked straight off the set of Cape Fear, because that's what he looks like in Cape Fear.
He kind of looks like the
Gotta rewatch
main
that.
guy from Rocky Horror.
Brad.
was it? Yeah.
Brad, was it? Yeah. They're also from Spin City, which had Alan Ruck in it. He was the mayor in Spin City. One of my favorite gags ever is he meets like the Archbishop of such and such, and he's like, is it true that you guys can only move diagonally? Like legitimately asks that because his character's an idiot, and yet he's the mayor of New York. Yeah, I like the idea that in this they make the little girl far more intelligent or competent.
Yeah.
Like in a movie like this, she could have been crying or annoying or something, but she's actually pretty level-headed overall. It's she runs away when Nick Nolte doesn't stay, and that's like the biggest spanner she throws in the works, and that's kind of it. It's not like she's in this scene and she's like, I need to go boom boom or something,
I
like
want a Happy Meal.
she
Look
was
at these freaky cops. They just
They don't do that in GTA.
one of them.
overwhelmed by the beauty that is giving birth.
Yeah, I love Nick Nolte. Like, why don't these guys go? Like, why don't they just fucking
Yeah,
leave?
he was really good at maintaining that smile while speaking pretty clearly.
He's a ventriloquist, Nick Nolte.
Does he do the guttural voice? when he
Busey couldn't do that.
ventriloquizes?
Busey can't be a ventriloquist, and the answer is no. Actually, when he ventriloquizes, he does a high voice.
Is this trope in other movies, Ryan? It seems very familiar. No, like faking a pregnancy or rushing to a hospital.
Yeah,
I feel
can't
like
think-
I've seen the whole thing of
but I can't-
oh, the police will guide you, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want you to do that. I feel like I've seen that a few times.
Oh, that's been done a billion times, but
It's always hard to write that into Google. To
We
recall which movies it is.
literally saw the police thing in our Christmas movie last year. Christmas was the Cranks, where the police give an escort home for the daughter.
Yeah,
in
but that
Chris-
wasn't a pregnancy.
No, what I'm saying is you were saying with the Christmas, no, with the cars, like you were saying you've seen the police thing where the police did the escort.
Yeah, but where
For fake
the
reasons, or-
people being escorted actually don't want to.
Oh,
I feel like I've seen that.
Yeah,
many
the
times.
pregnancy thing. Yeah, it's just a comedy thing, I mean, Martin Short giving birth. How funny is that? They should make that into a movie, but with Danny DeVito and Schwarzenegger.
Fantastic.
Martin Short, I don't know. I feel like his biggest film that people point to, other than Three Amigos, is Inner Space. The one that asks, can Dennis Quaid be shrunk down and injected into Martin Short?
And the answer is?
Well, yes, it's a good movie. It's a great movie. Dennis Quaid being shrunk down into Martin Short, and that's great because he is short. Martin Short. Thank you, Bartek, for laughing.
No, I knew you were going to say it, so I laughed
Wow.
in my head.
Oh, okay. Thank you, man.
Also, we've made the short joke a few times.
We've only made it a
I'm as
couple of
God
times.
made me, sir.
Yeah, a guy who makes short jokes. He does look. Nick Nolte does look more and more like Gary Busey as the film goes on, to the point in which I wonder if Gary Busey stepped in to
I need some
finish them.
coin. You owe me some brown envelopes.
I've got a son, Jake Busey, who's also an actor, and I need to feed him. He's going to be in Starship Troopers one day.
And that's about it.
Oh no, he's in the new Predator movie as Gary Busey's son.
We'll see on release date if he still makes the cut.
No, that movie
out?
came out this year.
Um,
Oh man, you haven't heard about that new Predator movie?
a couple of months ago, yeah.
Oh man, that new Predator movie's garbage. Oh yeah, man, it's literal garbage.
Deserves its own podcast.
Did John McTiernan direct it? Or no.
No, Shane Black did,
Oh dear.
and he's a good director and writer. So people were really confused as why does he say predators come to Earth to hunt for autism? That's a plot line. I'm not making that up. Look it up, people.
Were you guys sad at
Autism's
this
hot
scene?
right now.
Autism's hot
sad.
right now.
But it's a bit anticlimactical, isn't it? At least in the French one, they've got the Italian-French Alps in the background. And I like the tag of the bank robbery, though. That's sort of...
Oh yeah,
Vaguely hilarious,
the ending of
Call
it's a
back.
circle. Like this will continue on forever. So then you could have 4 fugitives.
Is this the third fugitive? No.
No, you're still waiting. And then, knowing Shane, when the credits rolled, he was like, "Oh, no powers,"
The whole time.
and that's why I don't.
I still waited for after the
After
credits
credits
as if it
scene.
was a Marvel movie.
Stinger?
Like, this is where we get to see it.
Stinger,
You meet the next fugitive.
Gary Busey has like a Sam, what's his name, Samuel L. Jackson appearance at the end. He has an eye patch. It's like, I'm gathering a team together, and Nick Nolte is like, what do you want? And he's like, I'm gathering a team. Oh fuck yeah. He says something you could go raspier. Of course, it's Nick Nolte. Gary Busey actually has quite a well articulated voice.
Oh look, she was called Woman Cop.
Yeah, woman cop, everyone.
Is it more polite, ladies out there listening? Is it more polite to say female cop or
Policewoman?
woman or policewoman?
I think you should call them police dames. That's what you should call them.
I'd
Or
respect that.
or broad police.
Or Second Officer Larry Miller.
Nightstick chicks.
Oh, it's Larry Miller in this.
Yeah.
Apparently Larry Miller's in this. There can't be any other actor called Larry Miller other than the comedian Larry Miller, who we all know and love as the doorman from Seinfeld.
Look, there was a.
I only
female
know
stunt
him in
person.
podcast form.
Larry Miller?
Yeah.
Really?
That show on podcast one, yeah.
Oh, wow. We love Larry Miller. He's been in a few episodes of the show.
I'm more familiar
the
with
other
the
one,
work
I
of
think.
Dennis Miller. Okay.
So the movie has unfortunately ended. It has
I
come
did
to a
no-
close.
I did notice, Ryan, when they were listing stunt people, there was like 1 or 2 female names there, so
Oh.
maybe they had women do something in the film.
Some of Martin Short's.
There's Princess McLean here.
A weird first name.
Princess?
It's not even in quotes, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like that's their nickname. Like Princess. So let's give our reviews and ratings of this movie. I'll go first.
Well, before you do,
Oh,
Ryan,
I will
I do
let
have
you go
my
first.
quiz.
Give us a quiz questions.
Yeah.
Shoot us with a quiz, Bartek. If you don't get 100%, disappointed.
Shane, you can enter this competition too.
Do we have to buzz in?
Bzz.
Say your name, I think. Question 1. What is the name of the bar that Ned is held captive at?
Ryan, it's Bruce McGill's bar, pretty sure.
This is the King Saloon Bar.
That's correct, but not the answer I'm looking for. No, it's the King Salmon Bar. Salmon.
I can't read my own writing. It's the King Salmon Bar.
So point to me then. I nailed it with that one.
Number 2, you better been looking really hard. What beer does the delivery boy...
Moosehead.
You got it. Moosehead
But-
beer.
say your name.
Excuse me, Ryan.
Your
Moosehead.
name? Your name?
Moosehead.
How much did Lucas earn in prison doing laundry?
Ryan. Laundry. Oh shit.
Oh,
Ryan, wasn't it $1,000?
Very close.
$1,200.
Wasn't like a
$1,020.
specific
Cold,
amount?
cold.
So I don't know.
1006?
More hundreds.
$1,592.
More.
$2,000.
Less.
$1,800.
You get it. $1,740.
Wow, I was close.
How old is Martin Short?
That's a good question. In real life or in the movie?
In the
Not in
movie.
I want to say he's 32.
Correct.
He's at least 5. Oh, Bartek, 32.
And it turns out he gives his age as 45 in the French version.
Oh, he's old.
But in French.
See, I mean, we. And the last question,
Better get this, Bartek.
not really a question. What does the police dog eat?
It is a question. And doesn't he... The police
Bad
dog...
guys? Does he eat bad guys?
What does he eat? Does he eat something?
No, the
Is
guy.
he said to eat something?
The guy tells him he eats only.
Bad guys.
You got it. Thieves. He eats
Thieves.
only
Bartek,
thieves.
thieves.
Got it.
Bartek nailed it, and the winner is Bartek, right?
The winner is all of us because we passed.
We
Together.
passed it. So, reviews and ratings. I'll go first. Film, 3 Fugitives. Reviewer, Ryan Sliwinski.
Date of review?
Whatever it
It's
is.
the 15th of December.
We're recording? Great. So, this film had a lot of things going on. It was refreshing to see a film of this caliber from a time like this. We won't get movies like this today. And if we do, they're never going to be ones that are theatrically released with star power like Martin Short and Nick Nolte. Well, maybe they would be today with Nick Nolte and Martin Short. These films would be made with them. But we won't get the movie like this anymore. 3 Fugitives. I mean, Americans making French movies better. I'm on board for that. My biggest complaint, though, is the lack of powers.
You stole my review.
Dang it. If I had to give this film a rating, it would be hidden powers out of powers out of sight. John?
Look, I'd give this 3 out of 5 convicts. For nostalgia's sake, I'd probably bump it up 3.5.
Not 3 Fugitives?
Yeah, we'll give it 3.5 Fugitives. Look, I really like this. I don't know how anyone could actively dislike it. The worst you could think is just it's TV movie caliber. Could there have been more comedy added to it, do you think, Bartek?
I felt like the balance was excellent.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. And once again, I would have loved to have seen maybe another scene of the girl helping them commit some sort of robbery and be a bit more helpful in that respect.
Yeah, John's pro kid crime.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I actively disliked it.
But you're smiling.
I'm going to give this 467 out of 468.
That's pretty high, though. That's pretty high. Your review is I disliked it, but here's my positive rating.
I remember when we did Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. We had one of my friends on as the guest, and he gave a rating that was like ridiculously big numbers. But then when you actually looked at them, his rating was really low.
But why did you dislike it so much?
No, because John told me I can't actively dislike it, and now I changed my rating.
Oh,
Changed my
right.
whole perspective on the
Contrarian.
film. I was going to give it
He's
3.5.
no bunny.
No buts.
But no, but you loved it. What he meant was disliked was he disliked the fact that he originally thought he was going to dislike it, but then he loved it.
And I dislike that about myself.
Yeah, and Shane's really upset because he's demonstrating right now his power of levitating things in front of us, and we are embarrassed by that and infuriated. Bartek?
All right, we'll levitate my review from my throat.
Okay.
Ryan,
Speaking in tongues!
Ryan, please don't make noises when I'm about to make a review.
Okay. Review?
My review is that I really, really enjoyed this movie. I thought that it was funny, and I thought that it was like a tearjerker, like a dramatical tearjerker.
Dramatical.
Enough
Traumatical.
pathos.
Dramatical.
Did you say traumatical or dramatical?
I thought you said dramatical tearjerker.
I did.
And that's what I said, and then you were like, huh, traumatical.
That's what I thought you thought that I said. So
Okay.
you said it.
Sorry, continue on, brave
Yeah.
sir.
You guys are both thespians. Shane and I don't know any of these
We are
terms.
thespians.
Are you saying
Bartek.
grammatical?
Grammatical.
These are just the fine details.
Key grip, best boy. I think that everyone should see this film. Especially since we live in an age where we do not get films like these, as you just said, Ryan. I think that you will just be more enriched than ever before having watched it. I give this film a pink monkey in a can of dog food at the bottom of a fishbowl.
Very good.
Thank you, Bartek. So, Bartek, you found some thoughts from people on the internet who thought that they should share their thoughts on the internet.
I have some real reviews from real people expressing real thoughts from IMDb. Unfortunately, the YouTube comments, there just weren't that many.
They were probably just John being like, I've watched this. That's
In fact, I can't even remember if there were any YouTube comments.
John.
No, sorry.
Why didn't you even...
Dirty Harry is my life now.
And Three Fugitives, right?
So I found 4 reviews, and I thought it would be great. Ryan thought it would be great if we all read a review each.
Let's do it.
Bartek, you hit us first, buddy.
Yes, I'll go first. Ryan will go last.
Oh, you know to say save the best for last.
Yeah, reverse the order of our reviews. The first review is titled, and they're from IMDb if I didn't say that before.
You did.
The first review is titled, The Three Fugitives... It is from the 23rd of March 2006, and it is an 8 out of 10 review.
Cool.
It's one of those excellent comedy movies to come out which keeps you laughing... As the story goes, Nick Nolte is the convict just released from prison, and in brackets, it asks Alcatraz?
No!
And he jokes that he is out to rob a bank to the cop releasing him... When he goes to the bank to encash his jail paycheck, he is swung into a robbery.
Swung in.
Like a door.
Martin Short is the bank robber who is too short to even pass the bag across the counter.
Wrong.
No.
By the way, keep a tally of how many things are right and wrong.
Okay, 1 is wrong.
With the public trying their best to help him with the robbery,
2 wrong, okay.
he manages to push the bag across the counter.
3 wrong.
Error.
They're thinking about the French version, I bet.
The cashier in turn gives him a few $100 all in $1 notes.
Oh, nuh-uh.
In brackets, it's actually a funny scene to watch right from the bank robbery to the car crash. However, by this time, the cops are all around the bank and Martin needs a hostage. He sees Nick as the ideal hostage after shooting him.
No. No.
What are they
no.
watching, Shane?
This is a different edit. Was that the original French one, perhaps?
The cops think it is Nick who is the bank robber, even with Martin putting the gun on Nick's head.
Correct.
/ Martin slowly realizes that the cops think that Nick is the bank robber and passes the gun along to Nick.
So it's not so much
No,
a review
no, not
as
correct.
a retelling.
Well, a broken retelling.
Anyway, they escape from the bank and are involved in a car crash, in brackets, with the bomb intact. As Martin...
Wait. Oh, the grenade. Right.
As Martin takes Nick to a veterinary doctor, they spell it correctly, and the doctor seems to see all humans as dogs.
No.
And then in brackets, poor doggy. The doctor helps along with Martin's daughter, Sarah Rowland Dorff, a sweet little thing, and the third fugitive.
Oh.
However, even though he tries to shoo away the kid left to look after Nick, he is emotionally blackmailed to help her out. The scenes where she follows Nick down to the basement are very touching.
Basement.
And she starts speaking because she is attached to Nick.
Well, yes, I guess.
This means that no money is required for treating her in the first place. And in brackets, the reason Martin tried to steal from the bank. Finally, Nick takes the responsibility of getting them across the country to Canada. How they get across the border and by making Martin a pregnant woman is the rest of the movie.
Yeah, 2 minutes of it.
Nick Nolte...
A portion of the movie is a portion of the movie.
Fair enough.
Nick Nolte is Theek's convict. Taking up the job of a locksmith is pretty innovative. Convenient for the story, at least.
That is fantastic and a good lesson why you
That's an
shouldn't
8
watch.
out of 10 review.
There's a lot of things to pick out of that. The
Yeah.
first is, would that have made a better movie than the movie we saw, Bartek?
That was the movie we did see.
Was that it?
That was it.
Pass it over to Shaniel. That's your new name, Shaniel.
That's quite fine.
Before Shane reads it out, I loved how he said Alcatraz at the start.
Alcatraz?
And when you're watching that, do you think that ferry he's on looks quite palatial? Do you think a ferry that good ferry would be used, just a ferry between a prison?
If it's Alcatraz.
It's a prison,
If it is, yeah.
Yep, so the bold underlined thing is the title and the date.
Yeah, I got that. Okay, so let's try this. The title of this review is The Retired Bank Robber, The Idiot, and The Sweet Little Girl. This one's
Signed, the little girl.
This is a review for the 16th of July 2000.
Wow.
Oh my God. Full stop. Isn't she the cutest thing you've ever seen? Meg is possible the only reason for someone to enjoy the movie. And Alan Ruck comes in second.
True.
It's always true, I guess.
I bet you'll grab a tissue and start crying when she says,
Problematic.
"Don't go." I'm sure I almost did.
Almost.
I enjoyed it. Period. And I did laugh.
Good.
My favourite scene is where the doctor has to explain what, at the police station.
Okay.
It made me smile as much as Tenor, Alan Ruck, and Dugan, Jedge, did at the moment.
Make me smile.
And finally, does anybody understand the end? I don't.
It's a circle of life.
I guess this is a mystery. Maybe revealing a sequel?
Question mark?
Well, if you feel there's nothing to do, then sit on your sofa and stare at the walls, pop in 3 Fugitives, and enjoy one of those few moments of laughter and crying.
Crying! So you have to...
I notice you've removed the names to protect the innocent.
I just don't include that because there's too many lines.
So that was an emotional roller coaster ride of a review.
Mm-hmm.
John is having to scroll down to find the next one.
Oh, good.
You got it? Hit us in the loincloth.
Once again, did you announce the subject headline first or not?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the title and the date.
The title of this review, excellent comedy with a magnificent cast.
Does it say magnificent or is it misspelled?
It is misspelt. Magnificent cast.
Get it right, John.
Originally broadcast on the 8th of January 2006.
Oh.
This movie has to be up there as one of the best ever made. Nick Nolte and Martin Short put in some magnificent, spelt right, performances to make it all the more enjoyable. Oh, and there's James Earl Jones, Jeg, who also brightens up the picture. Now, I must say, it starts very funny. You know, the robbery and all that, but then you kind of feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah.
The girl and her problem and how much he cares for her. So that's a bit sad. And we sort of forget the light-hearted introduction.
Yeah.
But who cares? It's really still enjoyable, but the bad language at times is inappropriate. This should have been made to a more suitable audience. To more suitable for younger audiences. You know, the family kind of film. Nonetheless, a magnificent film executed to perfection, given what he's just said. And you know what is a trillion, zillion, killion, billion miles ahead of most crap that comes out in the cinema today.
Yeah.
Other thing is that it's sad people like Martin Short don't get more prominent parts in more major pictures.
I agree.
Let's say that he is much better, and I mean much better, than many of the supposedly top actors these days.
Oh, what I really like about that review is he reviews the movies The 3 Fugitives, but he also manages to review a million zillion other films. And he's got opinions on that too.
That is a true statement. So I have Bartek linked me this one last night, and he said, I don't think I should include this one. It's a little too crazy. And I said, please do. He linked it, I read it briefly, so I have a bit of a forewarning. But this one makes no sense.
Yeah.
I just want to give it context. I also looked up this reviewer and his other reviews. He has like 400 reviews. And They're all like this. They're all insane. This one is called Nice. With a period. So the 27th of February 2009. It's a 10 out of 10 review, guys. 6.2 votes equal to Fragile. And now clear that this site has a strong... it's a strong... Sorry, this guy's insane. This has strong feelings towards the horror film. If this movie had been in Stephen King, would have had more. This site is very bad, with nice films, Blair. For me to go to pieces is the comment by Aaron 1375, and then in all caps, Aaron still 2 spelled T-U. Distant relative to Sharon? This is the review for Three Fugitives.
I looked up the Aaron guy. He's got over 2,000 reviews.
Restless...
All of them stoned.
Restless character already seen previously. Why make comparisons between Silent Hill and Mirrors? 100 times better, this movie. Silent Hill comes from a video. Do you have anything like the original film plot? There's no question mark to that. It's a statement. There are mediocre films recited by actors who have high ratings as We Are Beautiful film recited by people less known. This is one of my favorites. This is one sentence. This is one sentence. This site is so. End of sentence.
No,
So kind of ended like the film, just on a
In this
cliffhanger.
movie, there is a coup scene that leaves us with the mouth open. The other kinds of Nicole Kidman.
It's a very cogent argument he puts forward.
But since this movie and played by Sutherland takes one less vote, that's disgusting. Arise, the vote. The end. That's the end, guys. This guy ends every review by mentioning "Arise, the vote." I just want to briefly mention he did a review for Apocalypse Now, and he said, "This is a very 1970s film. What were you going to expect from this piece of garbage?" And then he reviewed the nudity of the women from 1970s and said, "The pornography back then was not about large breasts, but pure eroticism." And then he eventually goes into complete nonsense,
And I just
as
want
he
to
did
point
in
out,
this.
I just want to point out, I looked up that Aaron guy. He has not reviewed Three Fugitives.
No one has, like this guy. That was very informative, guys. I think we nailed it like Jesus with this episode. You can take that any way you want, carpentry or the crucifix. I think Three Fugitives has been covered, don't you, Bartek?
I haven't listened to the episode, so I don't
Have
know.
we arrested those fugitives and put them away?
They're in Canada, eh?
No, but I don't think they're going to leave.
Canadian listeners, go find Martin Short. He's from your country, and arrest that man.
What if Martin Short is listening to this?
Well, Martin, keep running. Keep running.
Keep on running.
Guys, it's been such a pleasure to have you on. It was so great to be suggested this. I was like, oh, it's Dirty Harry podcast, guys. They're going to suggest a Clint Eastwood movie.
Which we did, but you politely...
I politely...
Never talked about again.
Never talked about it again. Because I was like, I don't know, man. Clint Eastwood's filmography is pretty impervious. I mean, every film's pretty great. And you're like, what about the one with the monkey?
Yeah,
And I was
orangutan, please.
like, orangutan. And I'm
All
like...
seriousness, that might be a good one to talk about. I've only seen it myself once or twice, but there's a lot to unpack there, every which way but loose. Yeah.
It's every which way but loose, or every
Yeah.
which way but Clint loses the respect of
Yeah.
everyone involved.
Every which way.
I can't. Yeah. Guys at home, check out Dirty Harry Minute podcast. You guys are on the platforms, right?
Yes, of course. Best place is just iTunes, Dirty Harry Minute, and dirtyharryminute.com.
He's gonna sing. He's gonna do their podcast thing where they do a little sing song.
And in a few months, we'll be on there.
Yeah,
You will. Most likely in February. Listen to these erudite comic characters, Ryan and Bartek, Thank you. You had some very funny... You brought the yucks. Thanks.
The yucks. Shane, you wish you were there to see us yuck it up.
That's right, I'm an occasional contributor.
He's an occasional contributor. So you guys, find them on iTunes, their website. You have Facebook now.
We do, yeah. Dirty Harry Minute, I believe. I've just joined. First time in my life. So, yeah. Just search Dirty Harry Minute.
We're all leaving and deleting our accounts. I'm not sure if you realise the kind of
all
year
that.
Facebook's had.
Whoops. MySpace, guys. Get a page on there. Bartek, is always a pleasure to be hosting with you, covering the films that no one else is covering.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, thanks, Bartek. Well, until next time, listening people, remember to be kind to each other.
And our email is spitandpolished@gmail.com.
Bam.
And you're okay, Ryan.
Thank you, Bartek.